And on top of this is they're not in their usual drop spot. They have bowed down from school and apps, and they're looting here on that military island. And considering where our circle is, drop dead center on that school and apps, where Critical Road are uncontested currently. It's going to sting a little bit for Twisted Mind, but being alone on that military island here, it's going to be plenty of loot, plenty of everything they need. They can, loot for as long as they want to, get those vests, get maybe a flare gun to put themselves into that center.
We're going to ask an interesting hypothetical here. Do you think if they have Lou there, do you think they challenge Petrichor Road?
I don't think so. No, it's not worth.
They did it earlier this year.
They have been, and there's some of the early fights here. Vitality are defending that spot that they want, that South George and crates area. I talked to them yesterday. They feel like those crates are so valuable. They don't want anyone to take their cars away from them. They don't want Vitality to take anything from this spot here. South side of the river is Liquid's. North sides belong to Vitality.
Yeah, a little bit of a victim of the plane path there, as I think Vitality was trying to cheat a little bit south of the river there. And unfortunately for them, Liquid were a little bit later in grabbing vehicles, and they will take one away from Vitality. We'll see if they're able to collect that chip at some point, bring that man back. It looks like Team Liquid will get Cowboy back on his feet, and they have crates to themselves. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's going to be plenty of loot for them. It's a chip in the car, and that means they're going to be exploding that chip.
I think we found the chip, didn't
we? The chip is absolutely there, and that means that Vitality is going to be playing as a 3-man for the rest of the game. They're not going to be able to bring that chip back and that player back, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Luckily for them, they don't have high priority in this circle here already, so they're going to be playing it very slow.
Guys, मेरी voice proper आ रही है आप लोग को?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them just kind of hang around north of the river as long as possible. Right now, currently, looks like we've got Nemesis and Tyloo up there, Myth all the way off into Stalber as well. So we'll see how they decide to make their path in as we check in with Virtus Pro, hanging out on the south coast. Still wide split. They do have Full Sense just off to their west, but it doesn't look like Full Sense is in any hurry to start their movement.
Yeah, Big Winners won the Circuit 1 finals in the spring here, so their form is looking absolutely fantastic. Honestly, these teams are respecting each other quite a lot here. Talked a little bit with VP yesterday, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna put the hammer on this tournament. We're gonna make sure that some teams we don't want in the final, we're gonna make it hard for them, because they're certain that even without placement points, just with the kills they're gonna be able to get through this group stage here, they're gonna be easily making it into that finals here. Obviously, only 8 teams go out, so it's just a cut off from that top 8, top 16.
Prize money है first team को मिलेगा लगभग. First team छोड़ो.
For sure.
PUBG को पूरा all over मिला के PUBG का सिर्फ वो है 19.5 करोड़.
The respective changes and all the other additional changes that we've seen in our game. Last year, 2025's PUBG, not this year's PUBG. So as we mentioned, we heard Toffee's talk about in the opening, it's been a lot of adjustment period, especially for teams like Twisted Minds.
It has been. A lot of teams have been grinding. One of these teams is Nemesis here on screen. You might recognize a lot of these names here. A lot of them have played for Navi.
Team Falcon भी नहीं खेल रही है guys.
Melbourne won PGZ with Navi. State's been there, Diffic's been there, Sosa's been there most recently. This team, basically a super team if you just look at the players consistently here. And in my book, I talked to Diffic at PNC, and he's like, we have a good shot at making and ruffle our feathers here, and I'm really excited to see how far they can take it. Might not be as much of a big and known team because they're so new for this year.
सारे players guys मेरे भी नए हैं. बहुत ही कम लोगों को जानता हूँ. Let's see guys कौन कितना अच्छा perform करता है यहाँ पे इस बार.
Bigger chips on their shoulder either. If you talk about them as the ex-Navi All-Stars essentially, but a lot of talent on that team, a lot of skill. As we check in with AGAL playing south here on the dirt road. Nobody anywhere near them. Just south of dead center circle, but just taking their time to slowly scout their way in and seeing a little bit more discipline from that team than maybe we've become used to seeing before.
It's always been like that. And the first day of this tournament, especially in group stage here, where you just got to make your way in, a lot of teams are just slowly making space, trying to figure out this information that's coming in here. And very interesting is that we've got a red so dead center. We could end up having that terrain destruction have a big impact here. Shots coming in here from Tyler, trying to put some pressure onto Nemesis as it goes on here. One Draken on the roof here, getting a lot of information, a lot of damage done towards that Nemesis voice. they are going to be taking some peeks at them. They lost the tire already on the data like this here. It's going to
Insta ka link channel ke mere channel ke bio mein
difficult for that. So
channel
it's
ke bio
interesting
mein
to see how they approach that. Looks like right now they're kind of itching their bits on being on northern
नहीं
circle.
मैप के ऊपर नहीं, मैप के ऊपर नहीं,
We have to remember
मैप
as
के ऊपर
well,
नहीं,
new
वहाँ पे सब दिख
circle
रहा है ना,
settings
तो कोई भी
has
चीज
been
छूटना नहीं
applied to
चाहिए.
this. It does no longer in circle 4 and circle 8 go away from water. So we have a lot of impact with that, and circles can end up being in some of these very interesting areas.
हिंदी में डबिंग मैं करूँ वाला भाई.
Quite a few there changes from last year. If you have not gotten a chance to watch competitive PUBG since last EWC, then there's a lot of new things that you're going to be seeing here, most notably that terrain destruction, as you said, and the most recent one being those circle changes, no more land ratio, which means that we're going to be seeing circles that we have not seen before, and or have not seen in a very long time at least. Hello, my bad. Oh. Vitality already losing Levante. Don't want to lose another one here, but they should be fairly safe, as you mentioned. They're sitting on the north side. Nobody
we got to mention as well, losing Levante. Basically, that's a big blow to Vitality to begin things off with here for our first game. Sure, we are playing 18 in the group stage. Each team will be playing 12, but still, that's a big name. Out of your 12 games here, full sense PTC.
I think guys, ये जो मैच चल रहा है इसमें इनको टॉप 12 में आना है guys, तभी ये लोग guys क्वालिफाई कर पाएंगे. इसमें से guys इस मैच में से guys 6 टीम्स गायब हो जाएगी. Let's see guys क्या होता है. कौन-कौन जाता है guys next round के लिए.
Regional qualification, and with this, I'm excited for them still. Belmore, our MVP, IGL MVP, and yeah. Excited to see how these guys are going to be performing here. Now again, it's the biggest stage. This is what most of the teams there are fully focused on. They have taken PGS maybe at some training here, but they have quite the way to make in, and they're making their way in behind Virtus Pro, and they'll be very adamant.
भाई पता है ये लोग जहाँ पे एंगल लिए गए थे, ये टीएल वाले guys, ये एंगल बहुत सेक्सी है. अगर यहाँ पे ये लोग टिक जाएंगे तो भाई समझ लो कि भाई फिर तो guys कुछ कर पाएंगे लोग यहाँ पर. और I think guys जोन हाँ ये बन रहा है लॉन्डो.
The first of what is likely to be many hard shifts that we will see this week. All the way over to the west, so Team Liquid hanging out in ruins. Looks like that'll pay off pretty nicely for them as GAM will be hanging out in the boatyard. They
India की टीम नहीं है guys. आज से उनका मैच नहीं है.
Now to defend it from all
भाई ये देख रहे हो
sides.
guys, मतलब देख रहे हो लॉन्डो का guys, लॉन्डो.
Yeah, and GAM you might know as GAM the Expendables. They were 2024 PTC champions. 75% of the roster still together.
मैंने क्या बोला guys?
Coming in.
Team TL जहाँ पे वो पहाड़ी पे थी ना guys, वो जगह perfect था, but वो लोग I think वहाँ से move कर रहे हैं.
Has such an impact, so much water in play, and a lot of teams going to be playing around that with how this kind of goes. A lot of teams are trying to lock down some of those central
India
locations.
की टीम का नाम है Team Hawk.
Okay,
Team Hawk.
Little ridge that's coming in. It's going to have quite the impact from Russia too.
Hello, SB Gaming, क्या हालचाल?
Here, Ming finds Spaceman for him. It's China fighting each other at the moment.
A lot of teams scrapping right now. This is just right is losing a couple.
Oh, nice.
To start off with, nice seat swap there from Shen, as looks like 4AM has just decided to take this fight in waves. 2 down for Petrichor Road. I-26 V6 with that side angle though, causing some problems.
Okay, guys, third party third party हो चुका है
move, trying to rejoin his team to see if they can get involved, but now Supers has arrived as well, dropping utility from the high ground, but Guman, I think that might be all he's going to do, see if he can go fishing with dynamite, but he's not going to come up with anything.
Yeah, that's rough. That's been the star of the year. Everyone's looking for these third-party fights, especially in the early circles here. DN Supers taking space. Both sides of the road here for Ross. Like very greedy. I like it though, but with 4AM having lost one of those kills, Shens gets one, and what a headshot that was. They're trying to lock down the southern side.
सभी लोग guys फटाफट stream को like करो guys. सभी लोग फटाफट stream को like करो. Come on, जल्दी से guys.
Currently, the IGL of AGL is down and knocked, and the other guys are getting punched away by both R8 and from Virtus Pro.
Okay, nice. Okay.
Lookarooks and confirming another kill for BP here. 2 points to them in this game.
Unfortunate there for AGAL, running into Virtus Pro on the very south side of this new zone, just outside of Pachinki. But as you mentioned, R8 with that that northern angle onto that could just free farm fire down onto it. So it kind of forced AGAL's hand. They lose 2. We'll see if Destroy and Sololzi can make their way forward as a duo. As we now check in with Nemesis. They've made the long wrap on the north side, managed to avoid, it looks like Geek and Vitality, yes. So Nemesis, they're continuing that long wrap.
अभी guys top पे चल रही है guys Team VP, जिनके पास 2 points है फिलहाल तो.
Pretty free.
it's always, when you have these hardships here, you're always trying to look for these backfills here. And right now they're looking for a lot of players. They're going to be able to come into that cube area from the western side here and have quite significant amount of space. Let's see if they go south side or north side of the river. Right now, just waiting for that next circle.
Porte में fight हो रहा है. 3 team है guys, 3 team.
Porte में 3 बंदे हैं. But let's see what happens here. It is going to go south, southwest even. Virtus Pro is going to be laughing at that. There's some free high priority compounds available. Looks like Virtus Pro is going to be trying to grab some of that southern space here. Look at all the teams that's currently in around the Roshak area and outside the northeast. We're going to have so many fights happening from that eastern and from that northern side.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. The GAM hold-on boatyard was going to be very difficult to do. It's a very difficult spot to hold from all comers. It looks like Tyloo was able to get everybody in there, and now they're just going to go ahead and reposition all together as Vitality is starting to make their way over Myth, also making their way over GK. They're going to come over here from the eastern side. They're going to try to avoid Twisted Minds. It looks like Twisted is perfectly content, just eating a little bit more blue zone, waiting and biding their time to come in as they spotted out this rotation just ahead of them.
Yeah, and there's been some reses coming in as well with the recall. We're going to have to check out what happens with that.
Oh,
Mine continues his wide grab on the southern side here. And even in phase 3, it's 1 damage per second is fine for them. The next one does have an impact.
Okay.
Stops here. The barrel hand tries to maybe set up for some shots towards GK. Did feel like a little bit that GK was hurting them towards and to stay away. Especially with the cars driving, those drive-bys can be extremely strong here. Let's see how far they end up going here. GK is entering that area towards the eastern side here. They might run into their countrymen from DN Supers on that east side of Roshak. Let's see what happens with that as the recalls are coming in here. Tyloo looks like have been able to have a recall on some of those players.
Also, always concerned about that inevitability of a third-party fight, as we see little 3 gear there on Sungjae from GK. So GK looking pretty stacked as they make their way in a little bit late. And finally, looks like
ये team AGL है ना guys, AGL है guys. इसमें से जो मैं बंदा हिमास, उसको मैं जानता हूँ guys.
They're just sending it right down the middle. They are getting absolutely peppered right now.
इनके पास अभी guys कुछ भी present position point कुछ भी नहीं है, कुछ भी points नहीं उनके पास.
So will One Dragon. So Tyloo, they try to make the bold send to the north side of Boatyard, and they pay the price.
And Lee's last player here. Just going to try to go for that res potentially onto One Dragon, but shots are coming in. Myth and Jacob is saying no. 18 HP. Last player here from Tyloo. Can he make something happen? Well, they have so many teams in and around the Boatyard. Goes for the very greedy ego peak here instead of going for the res on One Dragon. Let's see what happens here with Tyloo as they are in this fight with Boatyard. Circuit is going in so fast, so compressed with them out
proper guys
in and around that Boatyard area.
Oh, बच गए guys, चलो ठीक है.
Just making sure that nobody was intending to crash on him before he goes for that. I mean, he is so scared to go for that revive. It's just, and I don't blame him. I mean, you hear footsteps all around you essentially right now.
अभी guys 2 टीम से एकदम proper fight होने वाला है. I think उनको पता नहीं guys कि नीचे पूरी टीम है.
As well, but
Team Heaven
coming up over the top.
Heaven बंदा.
What their
इनको लगता है guys idea बिल्कुल नहीं है guys. What the heck? पूरी squad नीचे है.
Shift to the north, so Boatyard it is in the end game. And we see a number of teams from the south trying to regroup.
And those are so rare again because those circle 4 shifts goes away from water. It's extremely rare prior to these circle settings that we've seen in England like this. And all the teams already kind of tried to send it in, but didn't have an Halo. Finds Getrox from Vitality. So Vitality has a lot of pressure here as Liquid tries to hold on to that western side control here. Ruin's going to have another fight as well. Full sense.
भाई जो DN है ना guys, team DN उनको भाई बिल्कुल भी आइडिया नहीं guys कि नीचे उनकी एक और टीम पूरी squad है guys.
Sending 2 into the south side of Boatyard, so it's just Alo and Purdy Curdy holding on to that.
Boatyard में guys 4 टीम है guys.
Vitality
एक दो 4 टीम है Boatyard में पूरी.
Look over in that direction to see if they can get involved. But all of these teams off to the south have to make a move, but you see Virtus Pro will have eyes on Nemesis. Twisted Minds now.
Guys, इनका देखो guys, ये देखो guys, यहाँ पे 3 बंदे इनके ये यहाँ पर हैं और guys यहाँ पे देखो NMSS पे.
Try to repel any invaders with a united front.
Absolutely. AGL here on the eastern side. 4 a.m. fight about to be happening here. MT with a Panzerfaust onto Batulins. That's rough. Heaven finds a Khan as well. Perfectix finds MT.
Long range party guys. Okay.
Control of this ridge line here. Third parties with nades coming in too. Batulins and Tab is both down.
Oh,
Teddy finds Tab.
Nice. बहुत ही प्यारा.
Tab here as the Jar and Aimbot's last 2 players here. Third party comes in.
गाड़ी आ रही है, एक और गाड़ी है, teammate आ रहा है.
Next to them.
No, this was just never going to work, was it? Twisted Minds tried to send it for the diff, but unfortunately just so many teams alive, so many have available play on there. Nice grenade will take down him. Perfect.
भाई थर्ड पार्टी हो गया तुम पे ले भाई.
By the grace of the
Twisted Mind पे guys थर्ड पार्टी हो चुका है guys.
Mini map, so many gunshots being sent over in this direction, and that actually might be what saves them.
एक नेट guys. Okay guys. I think उसी पे गया. Nice run किया उन्होंने. Oh net. Nice.
Oh, Mbot finds him. Alright, tries to defend this area. Now the nade comes in. That's
Puro ward guys. Let's go.
It's going to be eliminated here. Soon's going to be able to.
और अभी भी 1v2 है guys. इनके सामने बंदे हैं guys. अभी भी 1v2 है proper.
Both Nemesis is trying to get in. Petrogorod is trying to get involved, and VP is taking so much space close and next to Twisted Minds.
I mean, they see damage team. There's a good grenade, but Tulins just barely survives. Nixie will follow that one up, but you see what Virtus Pro is working with. Nice little ridge line. That'll be it for Twisted Minds.
Team
they go out
Twisted Mind guys खत्म हो चुकी है guys. बहुत ज़्यादा गंदा मारा गया उनको.
Surprised to see this many teams alive, this many players alive in a circle this late into this game. 17 minutes in, but you see the kill feed just lighting up like a Christmas tree as now AGAL is taking it with Myth. Nemesis is trying to hold off 4 AM.
Nemesis off 4 AM का fight हो रहा है guys. Proper 1v1 है.
Are fighting on the east side. So many fights happening all at the same time.
पड़ेगा. ओके पड़ा. अरे
as well here by Shen. 4 AM getting involved in this one. AGL 14th place. Shen tries to get that flush here, but Nemesis is trying to defend this as quickly as possible. Shen's probably going to go down.
Zone's not good, guys.
Gonna come in
Nemesis
and Stade gets that kill confirmed here. Dean Super's also out. A lot of top teams are falling early on. Clarice.
Team GM Glorious bhai mortar se maar raha hai. What the fuck?
A couple of those much needed points as the circle does shift to the north again. All water all the time. That's what we wanted, right? Nemesis still trying to finish off HSMM and the rest of 4 AM as quickly as they can, but now getting shot in the back by Virtus Pro, so that timeline has reduced significantly here.
Yeah, and with that circle shift to the north as Cowboy finds Lukarok's Liquid to be involved with that fight, trying to defend that southern side. We'll also see it. Samantha here, shots coming in, finds Stiffix with the M4 headshot. Soset and State tries to make the most out of this one here. They got 2 kills so far, but extremely difficult. This team's going to have to try to make it inside the circle. I don't think they're points here. It makes most sense to me. Nixie finds
इसमें टीजल्टन में टीम फॉल्कन में नहीं और नाइट टीम इंडियन भी कोई नहीं है, टीम हॉक कोई नहीं है.
Outside Boatyard, but it's going to be a Boatyard proper ending here. What a first circle we have here at Esports World Cup 2026.
इनको निकलना पड़ेगा कैसे करके.
Vitality does get eliminated in the end. Nemesis.
पीछे आ.
Keep an eye on Hazameme, but as you said, I mean, it's just getting that one kill. They thought it would be easy, but there's just no easy outs here.
Oh, no.
EWC lobbyist Beamy will find Sosid.
TVP ने भाई नॉक किया गंदा वाला उसको. अभी किल चुराएगा, पक्का किल कंफर्म करेगा ये.
Just a little bit longer here for 4 AM.
Beamy got the confirm onto Sosid. He was nothing. He was inside the circle, but shots are coming in here, and VP's realizing. Let's try to farm and close as many teams on the southern side, and then we can fight for some space south side on that boat.
I think ये फसला निकलेगा
looks like it's just going to be them trying to get some heals. Obviously, we're also playing on the patch where heals have been buffed. VP is making their way in now. Oh, lots of damage from that nade. Great pre-nade, but all 4 members alive. 7 kills for Virtus Pro, looking extremely poised for getting double digits potentially in this game.
अभी guys top पे टीम चल रही है guys, टीम VP जो guys आप बोटियान में पूरे 4 मैन है guys.
They've managed to get all 4 into this south side of Boatyard. That one grenade
अभी भाई क्या हालचाल?
caused so much damage from him, but it was just a
light कल में light कट गया guys, light कट गया था.
So here the mortars coming in. Luke 12.
अभी TL ने भाई क्या mortar तुम्हारा भाई बहुत nice यार.
Capitalize off of this.
Wow.
You see the vehicle
explode.
Full sense. They might be able to reset here.
Wow.
Essentially, if no more mortar comes in, but it's another one. It gets 2 confirms on sense and knocks Tigger as well.
Oh, bhai, और एक knock भी किया guys.
To go for the rest is now just down to Belmont. Or 2025 MVP from PGC and the IGL. Blue zones are being hurled.
Okay guys, वो लोग push कर रहे हैं guys. वो लोग push कर रहे हैं.
Is looking to shut this down.
Just bouncing the wrong way though for him. As see there. Want to go out there and finish them off, but you also don't want to risk. I mean, you saw Cowboy just saw Virtus Pro with a 4-man squad. You don't want to take that risk that while you're trying to finish this off, that Virtus Pro is just going to sweep back around you. So I think Team Liquid showing a great deal of patience here, and Belmoth and Tigger, it's not like they're in any better position now. They're still going to have to come here eventually.
Yeah, it's a great observation here. Honestly, for me, again, this 2-2 split for them, making sure they could potentially get the 2 points off from full sense, but also third-party opportunity onto Virtus Pro. That's exactly why Liquid is such a great team. As we look back at some of the kills here, so much fights, and what a crazy circle we had. All the fights in and around Rorschach ended up not mattering. It ended up being that boatyard central ending here. Nixie
okay, VP ने knock किया guys ऐसी को.
As well from Shadow.
Okay, finish भी कर दिया नहीं. दो knock किया guys, दो knock किया VP ने.
As they continue to try to involve themselves, and look at this.
Third party हो रहा है.
Dot being basically in the little harbor of Boatyard. It makes it extremely difficult to figure out, are we going to go west around or north around on that side of the Boatyard.
Guys, जहाँ तक मेरे को लग रहा है टीम ऐसी guys, I think ये मैच चिकन निकालेगी क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा है क्योंकि उनके पूरी 4 मैन जिंदा है अभी है. Okay, इनका हार्ड होने वाला guys.
On the other side of the river, they've got EJ and Akan trying to swim across.
Okay, nice.
Oh, hold the line, full sense. They tried to drop the smoke wall and make it in, but Team Liquid was ready. They will collect their 5th kill.
Insane, bhai, insane.
Great start from Team Liquid. Now they control that entire southwest side with the bridge as well in control. He's going to be huge.
अभी guys ऊपर एक बंदा है, इन पर launcher भी guys. Let's see guys क्या होता है.
As GAM Esports try to advance a little bit, Purdy finds EJ from GK.
Okay, चला ऊपर launcher लेकर.
Tyloo, last player. Can they fix it out? Can they get him done?
Oh, let's go.
Let's go. A quick rest, and that's going to be quickly done here. GK also goes out in that 6th place, and now we're into the top 5. A lot of placement points are going to be distributed here in the next couple minutes.
A lot of full 4-man squads here as Virtus Pro starting to make their way in. They saw GAM take that knock, but it looks like they'll get him back on his feet almost immediately. But good job by Hwang F and Duck Juice to expect that backfill. And they're going to put a pause on VP's rotation up to the north here while Liquid is starting to creep around here as well, starting to look down where Virtus Pro just was.
Virtus Pro, guys.
It looks like we'll probably slow down here.
Team
until this next circle pops, and then you gotta imagine Myth is going to be in a hard spot.
Yeah, the next fight's about to be
guys,
happening.
कौन जीतने वाला है बताओ? Team VP, Team TL, Team Myth, or Team SC, or Team GAM?
Shadow Esports with Myth. Liquid's looking really good for top 3 from this position here, controlling a lot of space, reinforcing the southern side while their IGL Pretty Curdy is trying to figure out, can we cross this bridge, or we're going to have to be part of that VP and GAM fight. With the circle as well, going up to the northeast side,
your Team Myth out of the zone.
It looks like the other guys are running to that western side, so they're going to try to cross the bridge. Pretty Curdy might have been spotted.
Out of the bridge, out of the zone है. ये भी out of the zone है.
Reinforcing this bridge side here. Next fight's going to be
Team SC guys proper zone में अभी फिलहाल तो है.
Circle VP has a way in, but Myth is going to be a big move too.
Team TL भी होगा. Let's see guys.
Across, yeah.
Guys, ये proper move कर रहे हैं guys.
It's a tough call, isn't it? Because you know. On that eastern side, if you go, you're going to be backfilling VP. You have the possibility of getting third-party by another team, but if you go on this western side, this is what you're having to deal with.
Okay, guys, उनका एक बंदा अभी भी guys warehouse में कैम कर रहा है guys. Team SC का ताकि ये लोग आए and then उन पे थप्पा किया जाए.
Upgrade himself just a little bit. Yeah, why not get a late game just for the funsies? But Jexy got him on the clock here for Shadow as the rest of his team is watching Myth currently.
And that part of the harbor is actually
ये लोग कितना hardcore guys move कर रहे हैं guys zone जाने के लिए.
Take some shots towards Kiss. See if they can take Myth out. Deny them space here. But utility is being thrown. Wang F as well.
Perfect guys. Net perfect था.
As Lukarux also finds Duck Juice. Being a big fight here in the southern side and northern side. Multiple teams denied entry.
Yeah, 2 scraps going on at the same time.
क्या zone में गए guys? तो क्या zone में गए? Nice pop.
Pro while Liquid just kind of swims around, working their way towards the middle. Myth will use that smoke to get up to the walls. See if they can gain a little bit of safety here as they were just getting peppered with utility in the middle of the street, but you can see just off in the distance.
Team SC by बहुत ही गंदी मत बनी guys.
Hwang F back on his feet, but Virtus Pro still 4 strong and being very methodical about how they push through.
Yeah, they know exactly where they are. They're looking for it. They're using utility to create space and to put pressure onto GAM. Lots of utilities being, and GAM right now just immediately disengaging from this fight here, trying to go towards the mid area. So we just have 1 player left from Shadow Esports, 3 players left from GAM.
Team SC का guys सिर्फ एक player बच गया है guys. एक बंदा survive कर रहा है सिर्फ, जो बंदा warehouse पे बैठा हुआ है. नीचे देखो.
And not take a single knock. The Shadow Esports.
मार दे.
Jexy got the shotty in hand.
Let's go.
Hoping for the best.
Fuck. भाई
उसने
उसने एक नॉक किया था गाइस, उसने एक नॉक किया था. Okay, team TL भी guys इन पे थर्ड पार्टी करने वाली है.
And look at the amount of control that Liquid is setting up with controlling those bridges, those small ramps to get
Team
off.
Myth और
That's
Team
going to be
TL.
difficult for some of the team to make it in here. It looks like it's going to be ending just on the curb of the harbor edge.
What a circle to start things off here at Esports World Cup.
Okay, net पड़ेगा. Oh, nice net.
Cowboy with a follow.
Oh भाई TL भाई perfect guys.
We'll try to return with the Molotov and flush out that kill. The smoke wall is blooming down, but good return utility from Virtus Pro. It's not going to be enough to save Luka though.
Gonna be difficult here. Now does VP just go onto and try to push onto Gam here? Next he finds Tanvu. Big names.
सभी लोग guys stream को like करो, vote करो guys. Come on जल्दी से.
And now Gam, it's a 3v2. Griggs has been hit with the Molotov.
GAM और Team VP. बहुत ही इंटर फाइट चल रहा है गाइस. 2v3 का मैच चल रहा है. दोनों 2v3 का मैच चल रहा है. Okay.
Glorious finds Beanie. Nixie gets found as well, but Correxy returns the buyout to Glorious.
Oh, क्या मारा उसको last time में guys. Oh भाई, let's
go. It's going to take down Virtus Pro as Gam now up to 9 kills. As they
भाई
try to get
क्या
their
मारा
man back
guys.
up.
Wow.
As a duo, very dangerous stuff for Gam. But Myth still
भाई टीम TL के अभी भी गाइस 4 बंदे बचे हैं. टीम Myth के भी 4 बंदे बचे हैं और टीम GAM के 2 बंदे बचे हैं गाइस. 4v2 है गाइस. ओके.
You can see that road, the role that it is
टीम
going to
VP
play.
फिनिश हो गया गाइस. वो #4 आया टीम VP.
Liquid start to kind of
with 13 points के साथ साथ. Let me check guys कितना पॉइंट कैलकुलेट करेगा
late game. You got to imagine just not much utility in the bags left for any of these guys. Maybe Myth, that might be the only one.
Yeah, Myth have looted just a little bit here. Pretty curly. They've got stuns, they got nades. They've got plenty. 8 kills for Liquid as well. If
8 kill निकला guys. प्रॉपर 8 किलो ने निकाल चुका है टीम TL.
Dinner for this first game here.
Team TL
just based on how they're set up, the amount of control they have, and also look at the dot. It's just in their backyard with where we're going to be ending up. And Myth, Gam's going to be fighting each other. It looks like a perfect.
पूरा फैल गया guys. ये पूरा का पूरा फैले हुए guys. Team TL.
Lots of Doritos falling from the sky here.
Oh भाई.
You see whatever left of the smoke in the bag being put down by Gam, seeing if they can at least.
Team TL मैच जीत सकती है guys.
Walls, but Myth just eyes on. Tanvu has the high ground.
Okay.
Now he's going to jump down. So he's been spotted out. 5 kills for Myth, 9 for Gam. Swung F. Got a few more smokes left to drop down. Liquid is just waiting for all of this. As Alo will take a little bit of damage. So Myth doing a good job of keeping eyes on where they need to go next as well. As the Luke 12 Molotov will take down Tanvu. Now the utility's starting to come out. Another one will take down Kiss from
भाई क्या नेड है
as well as Team Liquid start to assert their dominance here in the end game.
Utilities being perfect.
My Team Luke
finds Jacob as well. It's a 4v1 here. Surely
let's go Team Liquid bhai.
First chicken dinner.
Let's go.
And that is one heck of a way to start off your Esports World Cup. Team Liquid in
Esports World Cup है तरफ तेज भाई. Esports World Cup.
Secure the victory.
Esports World Cup. Nikhil bhai welcome. Visual welcome.
Go along with it.
Absolute cinema here for Team Liquid. You can see how excited extreme their coach is. What a boat yacht from Ruins.
Guys अभी टीम इंडिया की जो टीम है guys उनका मैच अभी नहीं है guys. I think आज नहीं है. I think उनका एक कल या परसों होगा जो भी होगा. But भाई टीम लिक्विड क्या खेली है guys. और जो ल्यूक है ना guys, ये ल्यूक भाई क्या मोर्टार इसने मारा लॉन्डो. वाओ. टीम TL कहाँ की है मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा. मेरे को भी टीम बारे में बिल्कुल भी आइडिया नहीं है guys. I'm just also new. मैं भी guys लोगों को जान रहा हूँ भी नए टीम्स को.
And they make it all the way to second place, but in the end, the fight from Team Liquid just a little bit too much.
Yeah, it was indeed. What a way to do it. Although the team's still 5 more games to play today here, but that is going to be such a moral booster, confidence booster for these guys here.
Team Myth.
Talk to them a little bit.
I think #2 आई थी guys.
We're looking at and into all the teams that we're not used to playing against. It didn't matter.
Team Myth हमारा यहाँ खत्म हुआ guys. #2 आई थी ये.
And what a Panzer to find.
Panzer भाई sexy था. ओ भाई.
Denying the Panzer from Scappy as well.
भाई आपने देखा ल्यूक ने क्या किया guys? उसने Panzer Frost मारा और उसका Panzer Frost को हवा में उसने फ्लैश करा दिया. Wow.
That was a chaotic late game to say the least, as they were frogmen, essentially, Navy SEALs fighting from the water up onto
Twitch
the shore.
Twitch में ये दिखाने का रिवॉर्ड दे रहा है 12 आवर वॉच टाइम.
Your game 1 winner.
Twitch पे मैंने किया नहीं, Twitch पे नहीं ना भाई. टीम T1 में कैंप करके लास्ट में थ्रोबल्स का यूज भाई. TL अच्छा परफॉर्म किया गाइस उसने. मैंने आपको बोला था गाइस टीम TL ना गाइस प्रॉपर उसने चर्च वाला पहाड़ी लिया जहां पे होता नहीं, जहां पे पोर्ट जो पीछे पहाड़ी एक और है चर्च वाला, वहां पे उन्होंने पहाड़ी लिया गाइस. तभी मैं समझ गया कि भाई ये मैच निकालेंगे लॉन्डे, क्योंकि परफेक्ट जोन पकड़ा उन्होंने. हाँ आ जाओ आदि, आ जाओ ज्वाइन कर लो, आ जाओ आदि, ज्वाइन द डिस्कॉर्ड.
Play is in our DNA.
Guys, ads चल रहा. Rondo, wait, आ जाओ. Discord आना guys, Discord आ सकते हो guys. Yes, परमिशन लेना पड़ता है. Yes, परमिशन लेना पड़ता है. Ads आ रहे guys. भाई जो सॉन्ग्स आ रहे हैं गाइस, इस पे गाइस हम लोग इनको म्यूट कर दिए क्योंकि गाइस कॉपीराइट का दिक्कत है. ठीक है भाई. टीम ओके
of PGS1.
ओ
We started off pretty rough by missing some of our finals, but then we came strong and won one of the bigger finals we had so far this year. So I would say it's been down, but like we have adapted and improved a lot with this year. I'd say it was like average performance for us. There was also a lot of the up and downs, but we're looking to show our best performance here at EWC.
VB đang là một đối thủ rất mạnh và phong độ của họ đang rất tốt ở những giải đấu.
เพราะว่าเขามีเพลเยอร์
ये गाइस ये है 2026 PGS 3 2026 का ये है.
พาวเวอร์มากๆเลยทำให้ทีมของเขาเนี่ยโดดเด่นขึ้นมาครับ
टीम में तक किस
I think everybody would look at Nixie though as the guy for them, right? Claiming MVPs on the international stages and also doing it in a cool way.
Team VP guys, क्या दिमाग लगा इन्होंने.
One of the best players in the world because he grinds. He's a grinder. So we got to pick Nixie.
Oh भाई टीम VP क्या मारा गाइस इसने.
You know, he's my superstar player from Team Denmark. He's a guy that has so much information readily available and he applies it to his game, and he's one of the best mechanical fraggers and all-stars in the game in my opinion.
I think it's probably how much works get put into like adapting, especially with how the game has changed this year. So just a lot of work in adapting to the meta and how the lobby works and all that. I think our strength is that we are unpredictable and we like to do a lot of crazy stuff early games, and I think that's why like other teams are scared of us.
I think we still have to see more from them, and I think they got a big shot at.
Guys, सभी लोग फटाफट guys vote करो और like करो stream को guys.
VP needs it. 3 points in the bag so far, but he will go down in the end. But look at the damage.
ये पुराना दिख रहा है guys. ये पुराना दिख रहा है guys. ठीक है.
I think last year we were like unexperienced team. It was first tournament with the new roster, and then after that we have like a line wins, like big wins. So I think we are really mature now to win it all.
Oh, Paris. Wow, looks भाई कितना सुंदर लग रहा है भाई. Okay guys, team वापस आ चुकी है. Let's go for second match.
You can kind of put them to the side because this squad showed up in a big way with that win.
Sorry, I was fixing my microphone.
You're good.
All right. So it was a huge win for them. Liquid, again, this is that team that I spent the entire last year saying, these are the guys who are going to take the championship. This is the team, second best in the world. They know how to play. And here's the thing. They've been playing since like 2018, right? So these guys know what it's like to win a circle while swimming.
That is a really good point, but they had to really
विनर के लिए है कैश प्राइस है 6 करोड़ मतलब 6.5 करोड़ समथिंग कुछ है टीम जो फर्स्ट टीम आएगी विनर को मिलेगा 6.5 करोड़ का और पूरा ऑल ओवर मिला के टीम 1 2 जो फर्स्ट है रैंकिंग फर्स्ट रैंक सेकंड रैंक थर्ड रैंक एमवीपी जो भी अलग अलग इसमें वो है ना एंड देन उसके बाद ही मिलेगा मतलब उसके बाद पूरा मिला के लगभग 19 करोड़ रुपए है 19 करोड़
They hold a push using Luke 12's beautiful mortars. They slow play it into the water. I mean, I think Purdy was carrying a zip line at one point. So like these guys were prepared for
4 मिनट बाद गाइस चालू होने वाला गाइस.
And you're right. They showed restraint at the right times. They let the other teams deal with each other. And then like in VP's case, they go, oh, there's 2 knocks. Let's just go ahead and slip in and finish this team off. But we're not going to overpush. We're going to make sure we maintain our defense.
There was a few moments where they were pushing across the bridge towards Myth that I thought maybe they were actually going to overcommit and then just get torn up, right? Because there was another team, Gam was entering.
भाई का ईयरफोन कौन सा है भाई?
Was a big issue for them, but they
हाँ जी ये ईयरफोन कौन सा गाइस? किसी को आइडिया ईयरफोन कौन से हैं? इसने भी लगाया गाइस वही सेम ईयरफोन. टीम लिक्विड का गाइस स्कोर है 22 स्कोर है गाइस इनका. टीम जीएम 14 विल्टस 13 मिथ 12. ओके भाई क्या डिफरेंस है गाइस डिफरेंस.
Well, I said they gotta have a decent day one, or they're gonna get absolutely lambasted tomorrow when 17 shows up on their drops. They come out, they got to a good.
तो क्या अपनी टीम कौन सी है? अपनी टीम कृष्णा अभी कोई नहीं है गाइस. इंडियन टीम अभी नहीं खेल रही है. आई थिंक उनका मैच कल या परसों होगा.
I mean, Myth just basically decimated anyone that was coming in from the north side of Boathouse, right? They made sure that everything was covered. Now, Virtus Pro was also doing a pretty decent amount of work backstabbing the teams that were trying to get in on Myth, but they didn't really need the help. VP as well. I want to talk about them. Gam with honestly a really good first game, all things considered as well.
I mean, it's almost impossible to push into that side, and I think what Liquid did, as you brought up, really smart here, is they kept waiting for the to pop out, and then Luke 12, who I'm going to be honest, has felt quiet on this team. There's been so many times where we talk
Surya bhai, thank you so much for loot box. Oh, thank you so much, Surya. Thank you so much.
One of the best
Surya bhai, thank you so much. Thank you so much, bhai.
Remember, and there's been kind of last year it felt like he wasn't playing up to his potential.
मेरा भी guys team liquid guys मेरा favorite guys मेरा ही बन चुका guys. क्या game खेले guys ये लोग क्या game खेले guys.
Doesn't matter what you hand him, he's going to kill you.
The mortars, okay?
तुम्हारा आवाज बस कम आ रहा है आदि आवाज थोड़ा अपना.
Because they were absolutely amazing. When are you getting a chance to full?
हाँ थोड़ा बढ़ाया हूँ. टीम की इंडिया की टीम कौन सी है भाई? इंडिया की टीम जो है वो इंडिया की जो टीम है गाइस वो टीम हॉक है गाइस. मुझे इनके बारे में इतना आइडिया नहीं है, ना ही मैं इनको पर्सनली जानता हूँ, ना ही इनको मैं प्रॉपर फॉलो करता हूँ किसी को भी. बट इंडिया के साथ टीम है जो कि गाइस वो भी बहुत अच्छा खेलते हैं गाइस बंदे भी. क्या हाल है भाई? पैसे मिलते हैं क्या लूट बॉक्स है? यस यस सूर्य भाई मिलते हैं. अगर आपके दूसरे किसी आईडी में है तो वो भी मेरे को भेज दो भाई प्लीज. ओ एक मिनट को गुड 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 भाई भाई कोई भी सॉन्ग से गाइस दूर रहो गाइस सॉन्ग से. चलो गाइस देखो गेम पे ध्यान दो ठीक है. चलो ओह अंदर महिलाएं गाइस.
टीम लोग क्यों जीते रश में बताऊं?
क्यों?
क्योंकि उनने मिडिल जोन पूरा कवर कर लिया.
वो लोग क्या किए ना, वो लोग क्या किए, वो प्रॉपर स्प्लिट हुए एंड देन पूरा फैल गए. हेलो हेलो गाइस, क्या मेरी वॉइस आ रही है? हेलो भाई मत करो गाइस. मैं कैसे देखो भाई आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? कैसे पता करूं भाई, कैसे पता करूं? अब 2-3 लोग का ऑप्शन को ऑन कर दो. 2-3 लोग का ऑप्शन ऑन करो बाबू कनेक्ट का. अच्छा कनेक्टेड है. अरे यार मेरा वाईफाई ना भाई बहुत क्या बोले गाइस.
It is.
Let's go.
Lots of spanners. Lots of work.
दूसरा मैच टाइको है. बट पता है मैं ये फोन के नेट से खेल रहा हूँ गाइस, फोन के नेट से खेल रहा हूँ। आई होप अच्छा जाए सब चीज मेरा, भगवान करे। ये मैच 2 है गाइस ना, हाँ मैच 2 चलो गाइस, टाइम पे आ गए गाइस, टाइम पे आ गए लॉन्डो। क्वालिटी बेस्ट स्ट्रीम क्वालिटी कैसी गाइस? अभी थोड़ा डिस्कॉर्ड बंद कर रहा हूँ अभी, डिस्कॉर्ड कोई नीड नहीं है मेरे को, फालतू नेट खाएगा। आई होप गाइस मस्त जाए बस। स्ट्रीम क्वालिटी कैसी है गाइस? सभी लोग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो, सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो एंड फटाफट जल्दी से वो करो। लाडू बोल दो कि जल्दी से जैसे वाईफाई आके बता देगी मेरे को। अभी डिस्कॉर्ड नहीं, अभी डिस्कॉर्ड नहीं, मैं फोन के नेट से खेल रहा हूँ, प्रॉब्लम होगा।
A lot of hardships too, isn't it?
Yeah, and especially towards that water area. But we do have quite the east one here, southeast. A lot of the teams are already in and close to this area here. Centers up somewhat close to Buksansai here for Pubg Road. That could be a great one for them. For him, looking Porte for this one too. Vitality, all falls short. Not having lost Levante, they star fragger, and they could be having some high priority compounds in this start here from the second game.
So you mentioned the 60-point threshold. What do you mean by that exactly for the people at home that are watching?
Yes, of course. We have over the course of the 18 games we're playing in the groups, the teams are playing 12, and they are 2v1ing or 3v1ing this player right now. You're trying to put
fight against Pele.
Shots coming, headshot with the shotgun.
Okay, let's go.
Jumps in to take him down. First player out. DN Super is
guys, quality सही आ रही है guys ना भाई लोग, quality सही आ रही है stream की ना।
They immediately saw it and they know, knowing of course playing with Beamy here, they know that they usually take too much space around there.
Guys, quality by stream की quality कैसी आ रही है guys?
From them from the beginning here and punish that greed that DN Supers have. They have both Go Dog, they have the south side, a lot of the compounds around this area here. And yeah, Virtus Pro, just from knowing and having played against these guys for so long, they knew they could punish that. And Rex is a great player to lose early on.
TL मर गए क्या? Oh, नहीं, चार बंदे गए, चार बंदे भी TL है भी.
And having that confidence to play as aggressive as possible, knowing how important every single point could be when it comes down to getting that cut line, making it above, getting into that top 16, as it looks like.
किन कंट्री के बीच में हो रहा है? सब ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड के प्लेयर की हो रहा है, बस इसमें पाकिस्तान नहीं बस, और इंडिया भी नहीं है, और ऑस्ट्रेलिया भी शायद से नहीं है, शायद से ऑस्ट्रेलिया की टीम है इसमें, मुझे पता नहीं कौन कौन कंट्री वाइज।
They've got a long way to go to get inside.
Yeah, but Team Liquid, yes, Team Liquid.
Look at the circle, like that's the approach. You see, okay, we don't have any high priority going to this next circle here, so we have time to maybe go in and take, you know, one.
भाई मोबाइल के नेट से भाई देखना भाई।
From one of our huge opponents in DN Supers, so really love that. Opponents in DN Supers, so really love that approach. It's so VP, it's so smart, and you know, all with this, they're at 14 points total. They're going to be fragging their way into this final so far, and yeah, here with on board with R8 also have pretty good priority inside this next circle here. They could take some of these compounds away, but they could be bombing into Pubg Road, and Pubg Road has been looking great so far this year, obviously having the win in our Series 1 finals, the first PGS of this year here. Look great for them.
Guys, सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो guys, come on.
Now with a red zone straight onto 4am, close to Geeklay and close to Vitality too. It's going to be creating lots of space here, as Spaceman is also creating some terrain area for him to set up maybe a little bit of a mold destruction.
अपना भी एक टीम बनाओ गुरुजी, बनेगा guys, सब टाइम सब टाइम में हो जाएगा, आने टाइम में सब अच्छा होगा guys, होगा.
We have destructible terrain as teams taking these the top of these hillsides here, digging in little trenches and kind of playing in between, waiting like wolf spiders to eventually.
मेरे को देखना guys, टीम लिक्विड को देखना guys, वो कैसा परफॉर्म करती है अभी.
Close, so we'll see if anybody falls into 4.
Team Liquid, Team Gang, क्या नाम है, जो Team VP और एक टीम और है guys.
That's getting a little bit close to Shadow Esports, but it looks like they've got eyes.
Yeah, the 2-2 split is huge, keeping Perfectix and Tap on the northern side. Maybe for information onto VP here, Liquid is driving straight up and close onto VP. I see shots coming out as well, potentially. Big fight here between Liquid.
I think by fight was Twisted Mind. Okay. टीम टीएल का और टीम वीपी का फाइट हो चुका है गाइस, एक बंदे उन्होंने फिनिश कर रखा है गाइस. ओके भाई भाई ये मत करो भाई, ये चीज मत करो भाई, फोन के नेट से भाई साहब क्रैश ब्रो. हाँ ये मत करो.
Coming in and close to them. Hopefully Perfectix doesn't lose this beard in.
जब बड़ी परफेक्ट सब चीज है जो
Just yep, but Supers is also starting to make their way over there as we do check in with the.
भाई मत करो ऐसे.
Polar Bears after losing Nixie, that is another big loss for them. But honestly, any
Team VP ने guys अपना teammate खो दिया guys.
Team
Team Nixie
playing so well together.
RM finds Songjang here. One of the MVPs out of PWS. One of the GOATs. I remember him back in 2018. He's been here for a long time. Of course, representing Korea in P.
भाई मेरे को भाई बहुत बेकार लग रहा है guys.
You can see as well, just recently in Seoul, just a couple of weeks ago, and now he's here back. This team, they dominated the regional, and now I see are back to dominate once again. But yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate where I'm being involved this early here. Shen getting that kill. Superstar.
भाई मत करो यार. मेरा किस्मत भाई बहुत खराब है गाइस.
Essentially seems just a little bit. That's a great nade. Gonna do some
मेरा
damage
किस्मत
on
बहुत
it.
खराब है.
Doesn't knock him though, but let's see what VP and Dean Supers getting involved just again, and now it's gonna be a fair 3v3 since Liquid took one of the names away. Since Liquid took one of the names away from VP.
Did indeed.
Oh, Twisted Minds, this next circle here.
Bro.
Towards them, but it was Liquid to take the name of Human. Some good driving here.
I don't think that's supposed to do that.
Just waiting for his teammate. Oh, Twisted Mind.
Miles of space, and they also know that they can expect Virtus Pro or Supers coming in from that northern side. So knowing that the potential threats that'll be coming in from the north side are also pretty good when you're kind of playing from that edge location. As we check in with Shadow Esports, getting a little bit close to Twisted, but it looks like they'll avoid them for the most part. Yeah, after hearing those shots, just
क्या था guys ये वाला मैच कौन जीतने वाला guys? आप लोग क्या लगता है लॉन्डो? टीम टीएल guys अभी भी guys उनका प्रॉपर उन्होंने एक किल भी निकाल लिया गाइस. समझ लो, एक किल उन्होंने निकाल चुके हैं सब टीम वीपी का. और गाइस टीम वीपी के 2 बंदे मर चुके हैं गाइस. टीम वीपी के 2 बंदे मर चुके हैं भाई. वो लोग भाई बहुत ही दुविधा में चल रहे हैं लॉन्डो.
Shots coming in onto full sense as well.
Yeah, lest we forget that Twisted Minds
टीम ट्रैगल पड़ रहा है गाइस.
RDM. We've seen how important those vehicles can be coming to the late game, and Twisted Minds, one of the
Bro यार
teams that knows how to play around them very, very effectively. As we check in with
which is Indian team. अभी इंडियन टीम जो है वो भी खेल ले रही है. उनका मैच आज नहीं है शायद से, तो उनका मैच कल हो या परसों होगा. हमको देखना पड़ेगा इंडियन टीम किसमें है.
So many teams on the south trying to find their way in. It looks like for the most part they've managed to avoid each other.
Yes, striker भाई. Yes.
Nemesis.
अभी सर मिल चुका है. बस आप लोग को थोड़ा सपोर्ट चाहिए गाइस. थोड़ा स्ट्रीम पे एक्टिव रहो ताकि और थोड़ा रीच बना रहे हैं. बट देख रहे हो यार, मेरा वाईफाई चला गया तो मैं फोन के इंटरनेट से गाइस वो कर रहा हूँ कंटिन्यू. भाई मेरा क्या किस्मत है भाई.
only one still making their way into Tyloo. Very
अजीत
far
भाई
off
ये
the
सब
side.
बहुत ही
Looks like they're
अच्छे
gonna
प्लेयर्स
wrap
हैं guys.
around
They are
to the
very good
west.
players, boys.
But overall,
No hit.
looks like teams have kind of found a little spot to play here. Although it looks like AGAL maybe getting shot at by Liquid, but it's more just forcing them around here.
Bro, टीम न्यूबीज है ना स्निपॉल नहीं वो टीम न्यूबीज नहीं है टीम हॉक है टीम हॉक
that much space is going to be able to be played until we see that next circle pop here. Liquid being very greedy with the amount of space they're taking, especially this western compound is very breachable.
Slightly less greedy than I think they were planning to do, because they had left Alo up towards that revive station up on the northern side, maybe expecting somebody from Virtus Pro or Supers to try to make a run for it, but they will pull him back, instead play that
because
tight
you pro
closer towards the center.
but average player who have not pro
top 3 prior compound locked down already and your 4 guys left. I'd rather see them play to be for as long
guys दो बंदे guys टीम VP के सिर्फ 2 बंदे बचे हुए हैं guys. इनका guys सर्वाइव करना बहुत ज्यादा मुश्किल लग रहा है मेरे को.
Nobody except for AGL north of them here, so let's see what happens. Virtus Pro, last 2 players in that emergency pickup here, and it's indeed an emergency for them here. They're going across. They're seeing all the cars that's locked down, and potentially some guys are going to be shooting towards them.
AGAL भाई इनको कुछ तो करना चाहिए guys. कुछ तो भाई फायरिंग लो. टीम लिक्विड किधर है guys? टीम TL किधर है? Let me check.
Fortunately for them, it does donut up right towards the center a little bit, favoring.
guys बताओ guys किस आप लोग बताओ guys स्ट्रीम क्वालिटी कैसी आ रही है guys? स्ट्रीम की क्वालिटी कैसी आ रही है?
Not having a good read on how heavy the south side of this zone might be, and maybe they think they might have spotted something along that riverbed that they can
stream
play.
Quality कैसी आ रही है guys? 1 minute से यार. Okay fight हुआ guys. Okay team VP. Oh मार गया ले. Fuck. भाई team VP guys eliminate हो चुकी है guys. Team VP खत्म. Oh भाई.
Yeah, from game 1 with 13 kills to last.
Okay इनका थर्ड पार्टी आ चुका है guys. इनका थर्ड पार्टी हो चुका है टीम पीरो पे.
Getting that retaliation straight onto them here. Petrogoro trying to
reinforce finish कर दिया guys. No, I think so. नहीं finish नहीं किया
on the southern side. Oh, look at that. So much space, so much of these open fields being controlled by so many teams. They have each their
यहाँ पे guys 3 team है guys. Okay.
Melman finds heaven.
Well, having to play these rice fields, these ridges early on can't feel great, but Porte in a storm here as MS will steal away heaven. That's another one of the Supers players going down. I think that's Guman Deal now left as they'll make their way from the north on that dry riverbed. Liquid already in place. They're getting shot at in the backs and from the side by AGAL with a 2-2 split, but Nemesis is coming in here quickly. We'll see if Supers can survive a little bit longer as they get a little water on their tires.
That'll be difficult. They're trying to get anything just to have
Team DN
Super pulse here in this circle here, but everyone is
Team
shooting
DNS.
at them.
Okay, DNS
in a like this, in a competition like this, everyone just hits their shots, even from far away. Lots of pressure being applied to Supers here, and now they found a little space, a few rocks.
Oh, भाई पड़ रहा. Okay, कौन मारा उसको? Team Luke. Oh भाई, Team Luke. Nice. Luke भाई insane guys. Luke insane. Okay. खत्म guys. Team DNS खत्म guys I think. Team DNS. Team DNS का तभी भी एक last match surviving guys.
I think the shots from Geek and AGAL on that eastern side of the river a little bit too much, but Deal going to push.
Team TL ने guys 2 kill निकाल लिए guys ये वाले match में.
And if this next circle does not go north, we're going to have an absolute slaughter in those fields. Look how many teams. It's so congested already. And with Myth holding on to just a little bit of an open space, they're going to be able to pop out and put some pressure on. They already got lots of pickaxes going on here. They're going to be mowing.
Guys, यहाँ पे still guys 3 team fight ले रही है guys. Sorry, 4 team sorry. 4 team fight ले रही है guys आपस में यहाँ पे still.
Just 10 more seconds and we're going to see that next circle. We're going to be ending up here. Twisted Mind still aggressive with the space they're controlling too.
Surprising, haven't seen any mortars really come into play yet. Do you maybe hold on to those a little bit longer? Wait for the next circle maybe?
गंदी क्वालिटी इसलिए गाइस क्योंकि मैं इंटरनेट मोबाइल के डेटा से मैं वो यूज कर रहा हूं मतलब यूज कर रहा हूं भाई वाईफाई चुद गया मादरचोद
holding on to tons.
जानते हो ना किस्मत ग्राफिक्स भाई मेरी
mortars are coming in.
It's like Vitality to send a few over, but they're just not finding the mark as the skies have started to light up with these mortars. As soon as that circle pops, Thanadol will get that for Gam to start things off, but now they are down to 2, maybe down to 1.
I think quality
down to 2, maybe down to 1. Will get flushed out. Gam in a little bit of trouble.
And honestly, around especially the TDM fields and the TDM hill here in the southern side, they have quite the information and control from Full Sense here. They're going to have a fight with R8, and then they're going to be bringing
drop all the
other teams in
this field.
AGL, big send on that eastern side, but Tulins finds an R8 player here. But
okay, 2 team fight ले रही है ये नेट फटेगा क्या? नहीं. Oh net! Oh भाई क्या knock दिया नेट से. Oh भाई team twist बहुत ही प्यारा.
As you would expect from our defending champions. R8 down to just 10 and empty. Fighting in from that southeastern side. Batulin's right back into that.
Let's go.
Make sure you collect that point. Don't want anybody stealing that away. As we said before, every point so precious here as Gam will try to send it right through. You see it on your mini-map. Clories and Wong F go right into the teeth of Tai Lu.
Oh, bhai, andar ghusa hua iske.
It's knocked onto the car borrow and it's blown onto him, so that's just gonna bleed out and be confirmed later on. Perfectic finds Wong F and gets flushed immediately by Tab. Meanwhile, it's Mehmet finds Salalsi. And Gam Esports is gonna be out in 15th place here. It's gonna be a good game for Twisted Minds. The amount of control they have already. Spaceman those finds the confirmation onto Salalsi. 4 angry men being extremely angry and holding on to this location against AGL.
Keeping eyes on any potential third partiers here. This fight is taking a little bit longer than I think maybe they would have liked here as Hemas will find Spaceman. He's going to go down.
Okay. Net jayega kya?
Will jump peeking through the smokes. The grenade's going to land. It's
nice net.
Great grenade from Hemas. And now 4 AM is up against it. Shen on the
okay, guys, दूर पड़ा guys. अरे हिमास को नॉक किया guys. Sen ने.
As Hemas just peeks past the smoke, will reveal himself just enough, but he should be able to survive a little bit longer. But now Nemesis is starting to make their way down here on the riverbank as well. They could get involved in a third party.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great setup for them potentially to be able to third party this fight, get some points, steal some knocks away. Now Shen is taking lots of damage from Nemesis. He's down to half HP. And Winda is going to have to try to make space and maybe potentially get this confirmation on to him as the rest did come off. He's low, he's going to have to heal, but they are disengaging just a little bit. They're trying to maintain control of this little crevice that they've held on to. Oh my God, it's a double!
4 AM kya mara guys.
Beautifully placed, beautifully cooked.
Wow. Perfect grenade guys. Oh, third party kar raha hai guys ye. 4 angry men.
But Winda will go down to Sosid. Can Shen get that revive? He's already in vehicle, trying to go over there and defend his teammate.
This is great for Nemesis, great for Deal, but Shen is going to have to go and try to put out some utility, get some smokes deployed. They're not inside this next circle here that starts moving in 30 seconds. To see all the fans cheering on all these teams here. Esports World Cup.
Nemesis maybe a little bit distracted here. Weren't able to capitalize off of that knock that they got on the 4 AM, so they are able to get Winda back on his feet. And Nemesis will actually regroup. They've got Melman kind of the tip of the spear here. A little bit close. They've got Myth on the other side of the ridge line, but they've got to worry about Shen will find Deal. That's good for Supers. He had to go somewhere. Unfortunately, Deal will go right into 4 AM's waiting arms.
Yeah, what a clutch from Winda. Taking down AGL.
Massive.
Big names to take out here. Nemesis. Are they too passive for this fight here? Are they just really aware that this next ridge is just about in and they want a third party?
Abhi quality kaisa hai stream guys? Abhi stream quality kaisa guys?
Too quick about it. Now Nemesis is opening up, taking lots of damage, putting it onto Shen. So
Shen knock ho chuka hai.
Twisted Minds also
maar. Acha wo reach pe guys, wo reach mein
This is the next big fight for space we're going to have in between 4 AM and Nemesis.
They've got to make their way through the raid boss here. Winda,
7
kills now.
इन्होंने 7 kills इन्होंने निकाल रखे हैं guys. Team 4 AM.
Just a little bit. Although they would like to get a little bit more placement here, they're managing to
Team Nemesis
through kills and keeping themselves in the.
Lag तो कर रहा है भाई, I know यार. बहुत परेशान हूँ boys. रुक जाओ.
On that mortar for a second, not sure if he was aiming at somebody or just trying to create space for them to crash. right now they do have a little bit of a foothold here right on the edge. Will keep those vehicles alive as best they can. Those smokes recycled, but they are right in grenade range. Myth.
Oh नहीं ओ भाई कितना लगा रहा है गन पे ओ भाई
Immediately get another one on a cowboy. Alo now the last player.
ओ भाई टीम मैच क्या नेड कर रही है गाइस इन पे
on Team Liquid.
ओ भाई भाई बहुत ही ज्यादा तगड़ा गाइस
Down on Team Liquid.
Oh my God, what a way to hold on to utility until the time you know exactly when another team pulls up. They create a pseudo red zone with that amount of nades coming towards Team Liquid. Go from Porte to one immediately. Soset finds Scabby. What a way to third party for Nemesis. Is pulling off onto Myth.
Beautiful timing here for our Nemesis. They catch Myth out a little bit.
Mortars.
The mortars are starting to fall through as well, though. Kiss will get the knock on a Mailman, and that's going to force Nemesis to pull back a little bit, but Diffix is already across the street. They have to commit to this fight. They've got the smokes laid down, but Myth is returning the fire. They still got a little bit of utility left, and Levante is actually going to get the knock on a Diffix. So Nemesis now on the back foot.
Yeah, outside this new circle here, everyone's third-partying this fight here. They know Myth is a contender. Nemesis pulled up great. Getrax gets bound as well. State gets knocked as well. Petrocaro deeply involved into this third party as Nemesis and Myth struggle to get into this circle.
ठीक हो गया
Just full third and fourth partying coming.
अच्छा ठीक हो गया क्या ठीक हो गया ठीक हो गया ठीक हो गया I think so guys let me check
From the south side here, Sosa now the last player left alive. Blue tickling his heels. Kiss will get the knock. He will get the flush, and he will take.
नहीं blue tick नहीं होगा इस
Down Nemesis. Myth now down to 3 players, but they probably could have lost a lot more there. Great recovery from them.
Getting a little bit of kill. For them 3 so far. Could have gotten more. Belmont finds Gedrox. A lot of teams fighting for space. And this next circle goes northwest. Twisted Minds are laughing. Their compound they've been holding on to for so long is still inside. And there are sharks in the water with that BRDM. Tyloo holding on to that corner. But so many teams are going to be pressuring from that eastern side here. And they're on the other side, so I see a lot of teams could potentially put some pressure onto them. I don't think they're going to be able to reinforce and hold 3 teams off from that spot that they're currently in here.
Park Pro, the Bush Monster. Gonna stay here as long as he could, but gonna be time to move here soon. As Shadow Esports, they were forced. They're right above. EJ will take down one, but will go down in the end as Shadow Esports tries to crash down. Twisted Mind sees all of this happening just uphill, but they've got the compound, they've got the BRDM. They have a direct path into late game. There's no reason to get over here and get involved in this just yet, but Myth, they might get involved as they will find the angles. More utility being sent over in that direction. We've already seen how successful they can be as Alo will get the knock on the third party from Liquid comes in, but he will go down in the end. Team Liquid out.
What a nade's going to come out from Kamals here. We're down to just 2 players from Shadow. Kiss finds Kamals though. Levanta also finds a nades onto I-26 here. We're down to just Kiss and Baron. He's going to have to heal. He's down to just 23 HP. Full 3-gear turret, but nades comes in from Setsuna. Myth goes down to just 1 player. Baron's going to have to put pressure onto him. He's half HP up on that hill here. Myth is struggling to stay alive inside this circle.
The timing might be good for him, though, because Petrichor Road and Vitality were third-partying this, but now they're fighting each other on the south side, so they might be able to get a moment here to breathe, maybe to reset, as Baron tries to finish off Setsuna. Oh, another good grenade, though. It's just not going to be on time.
He's going to go down to that. He's just going to crawl out on the edge. Might be able to survive.
Goodness.
Smokes are deployed from Baron here, and everything as this next circle has popped towards them. Got a lifeline straight out here now. Again, sharks in the water. Batsulin's looking at Setsuna. He's backing off the BRDM, maybe considering to put some pressure onto this. One Dragon does find hello, my bad. Vitality's been alive for quite a while here, but this next fight with Petrichor Road and Tyloo bound to be
to set themselves up here. The smokes are down, but Perfectix and the boys are not waiting. They're going to push right in. They'll find 2, they'll find 3. They're down to just 1. Tyloo, can he do anything magical here? Example's going to go down as One Dragon managed to get that knock, and they're going to get him right back on his feet. The EMT gear,
I love it,
coming in here big for Twisted Minds here at the end.
Outskirt, last player finds Example again. Now 2 is knocked here. It's down to Perfectix. He does have the 3-gear. Lots of damage done here. Oh my god, he finds Baron. He is him.
Retreats into the smoke, will put up the deployable shield. He knows that smoke is about to go away, so he has to drop some hard cover here. The train comes through, and Myth will improbably win. The fight from the north was so difficult, but what a performance here from Made in Time.
This down, and remember, they had an onslaught onto Team Liquid. They got third party, they got pulled up on, and they survived. Down to 2 men here. It was perfect, of course. The amount of pressure they're able to put on both Tyloo and to Twisted Minds. Perfectix tried, man. What a performance from him. What a FAMAS headshot he was able to apply to so many of these players here. But yeah, it seemed difficult. It seemed impossible for Twisted Minds.
That felt like a
guys hello मेरी वॉइस आ रही है गाइस अभी क्वालिटी सही आ रही है स्ट्रीम पे हेलो गाइस क्या अभी स्ट्रीम क्वालिटी सही आ रही है हेलो वॉइस हेलो हेलो ईश्वर वेल कमेंट क्या हाल चाल भाई गेम कल होगा गाइस गेम कल होगा गेम होगा गाइस कल चलो वाईफाई हाँ वाईफाई आ गया गाइस आई कैन हियर ओके ओके वॉइस इज गुड ओके अभी अभी कैसा लग रहा है गाइस अभी कैसा है अभी सब चल रहा है गाइस
Russ, our coach, works his ass off. A lot of it comes down to execution recently, and that's something we got to improve on.
All right, Purdy, thank you very much. I'll send you back to your booth. Good luck in the next
stream quality kaisa guys?
I now head on over here to have a little bit of a chat about what was going on
bro
here with Mr. Matrim, who's going to be joining me to talk about this Tego game. Hey, Matrim.
Oh, hey, man. That last game was a barn burner. I loved the end of it. Twisted coming in very tail end of that one. Got a bit dangerous. I was a bit nervous.
तुम्हारा कोई इशू होगा भाई मेरे में तीन फोन में चला भाई मेरा तो टाइम नहीं रहा है.
That western side, I almost thought that they were going to die before they managed to get into the tail end of the fight with Myth.
Yeah, obviously, Myth looking amazing.
Oh.
What do we expect like when it comes to someone like Kiss being able to clutch out those kinds of moments? And I think we'll see even more of that. I think it's scary for a lot of these teams now realizing that, hey, Myth's already coming in hot after those PGSs.
Dude, okay, we can talk about that. We can also talk about the VP dying early actually did open up an opportunity because that's an incredibly consistent squad. So we know the fact that anytime they falter out, you're going to have some opportunities for bigger squads.
मैंने Twitch पे परमिशन नहीं लिया सिर्फ YouTube पे परमिशन है only YouTube पे Twitch पे नहीं है Twitch पे नहीं करना
है. Well, it looks like we're good to go head on over to the studio here to break down everything that's been going on so far.
ओह रस नहीं लेना गाइस, रस नहीं लेना गाइस, रस नहीं लेना किस चीज का भी। अरे ट्विच पे देखने बोला। Let's go.
Arrive as the customers were saying they had an amazing game one. This game two absolutely blew it out of the battle. By the way, Godspeed, Lace, Toffees, and the 7WG. Welcome back, Lace. Thank you for joining us. But Myth.
Yeah, man, I've been out in the sunshine, so it's nice to be back on the desk, guys. I've seen too much.
और टीम इंडिया क्यों है पोल में? रख दिया गाइस, मेरे को तो
I'm so glad
मैं बहुत ही जल्दीबाजी सब कर दिया, बट कोई ना करते हैं इन्फिनिटी भाई PUBG PC है या PUBG Pro? ये PUBG PC का है भाई, PUBG PC का।
It's that kind of aggressive play style that gets me really going. I mean, match number 2, I'm not going to say it wasn't that great because it was a fantastic start from them. But as soon as was a Team Liquid sort of dissipate from that and almost Virtus Pro, that just paved the way for Team Myth to sort of make their comeback and their aggressive play style. And plus, you know, usually we, you know, give the reins to Jacob as the star player, but we got to hand the mic over to Kiss because that was such an incredible performance. And to be able to hold that sort of northern side mid-zone while we had like Twisted Minds battle it out, it was just a waiting game, kind of sitting on that rock like a proud
It's
lion.
about getting to the rock. There's two teams that made a huge end game, okay? Twisted Minds, because they opened the door for Myth to get to where they got to. You heard Martin say it, you got to take the rock. Well, Gibraltar was taken because Myth was able to slide in there during that fight between Tai Lu and Twisted Minds. And I don't care what anybody says. Scappy, he's scrappy. Kiss is the Reaper, and there's a reason we say Kiss of Death, because that man god's people went pop, pop, pop all over them.
I think what's just also so impressive, if you go back 2 years, you know, you talk about
time.
Let's take a little trip
Let's take a little walk
memory
down memory lane.
Please, if you would humor me. Going back 2 years, you know, Southeast Asia in general was never really seen as a very strong region, right? They would come to
I'm upset.
They'd come to an international, they would kind of get farmed, unfortunately, and then they'd go home. Over the course of the last 2 years, we've seen the rise of Cerberus, we've seen the rise of Forest. Now,
okay, knock diya guys, oh bhai.
This
Wow.
fantastic team here.
Guys,
and Southeast Asia is
मैंने कितना miss out किया guys इंटरनेट चक्कर में।
just to participate. They're here to take over.
These Thailand teams are really turning up the heat.
And boy, did they end up taking over. By the way, Twisted Minds being able to use that BRDM, or as I like to call it, the Splash Maker.
Nice.
Because they were just going around all over the place, and they were able to bounce back. Remember what's been going on with that team? And this is kind of what I wanted to see out of Twisted Minds coming into that second game.
You know, they're playing with a sub. They kept strong during that whole fight. And is there a more iconic duo than Batulin and the BRDM at this point? I don't know, because he seems to be using it really, really well. What the key to me is Tai Lu put a red zone on those boys. It was brutal. They got 3 back up. They pushed over the top, and they made Tai Lu look like children. They came over and they said, all right, you've got grenades when you can hide, but when it comes time for slinging lead, lads, we know how to play.
I feel like a child between you two tall guys.
That's why I'm all the way over here, okay?
I'm a very small man, but you know, I don't know why you'd feel that way. But speaking
guys,
of
क्या लगता है लॉन्डो, क्या लगता है guys? सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो guys, जल्दी से, come on.
Absolutely disgusting. And then something else I want to talk about when we talk about Southeast Asia or just Asia in general. Winda, dude, holy crap. Winda came through. He wiped AGAL almost completely by himself, which was absolutely disgusting. And then he went on with his teammate to continue to wreak havoc before 4AM went down. And this is the first time I think this year in a while that 4AM is really a serious team to look at, especially when they have Shen, the Malaysian superstar now. That team is disgusting.
4AM was
मेरे को मोबाइल वाले की डेट याद नहीं, बट हाँ उसका I think शायद मैंने परमिशन शायद से नहीं लिया है.
It is turning up really well. I think the other thing about Winda is you're right. He's dead on. He's phenomenal, but he's this sort of new blood that's emerging, right? It's the same idea as like, where was Kiss
Fresh
3 or
meat.
4 years ago? Becoming monsters. And that is the thing. You brought up SEA, right? The whole region has been powerful, right? We got from that region PGC champions 2 in a row. I think Myth has watched that and said, okay, we can do
Match 3 starting guys, 4 मिनट 40 सेकंड बाद guys मैच चालू होने वाला guys.
Now they have that behind them in addition to everything else they're doing. They're named after their own country.
4 मिनट 34 सेकंड बाद guys मैच चालू होने वाला है. और guys आप लोगों को क्या लगता है guys कि ओ क्या बोलते हैं उसको guys, तो क्या बोलते लॉन्डो? पॉइंट्स टेबल गाइस, कौन टॉप पे होगा?
Sorry guys, it's coming out now, but my god, these boys are locked. I hope you guys get to see what I was chatting to him about.
We did. Earlier on, we got a chance to see all of that. But yeah, Kiz being able to perform, Winda as well. I can't wait to see what other teams and other players especially are going to be stepping it up in the coming matches. But I want to take a look at the overall. I want to see how everything is currently looking, because another squad that's kind of building that momentum, building that confidence, Shadow Esports. Once again, not crazy stats.
Okay. Guys, अभी टीम विथ पहले गाइस आई थिंक #4 पे थी, और गाइस अभी #1 पर आ चुकी है, और टीम लिक्विड गाइस दूसरे पे है, और ट्विस्टेड माइंड तीसरे पे. ओके भाई, वाओ. वाओ गाइस, वाओ. 32, 24, 20 बहुत डिफरेंस है गाइस, बहुत डिफरेंस है. मिथ ने भाई, पता है मिथ ने गाइस जो भी नेट किया था ना गाइस टीम लिक्विड पे गाइस, अपने जो पिछले मैच का जो बदला लिया गाइस ना, बाप रे बाप, इतना गंदा नेट, आप लोगों को क्या बताऊं गाइस, बहुत ही मस्त नेट है.
So, Lace, I saw team vitality in that game. You saw it pull off the sort of the pickaxes, try to lock it down. It was a tough situation for them to sort of decide, do we go in, do we get out of this defensive position? And I'm not sure. That's what I'm worried about when you look at them, is are they making proactive decisions?
Yeah. Look, I was sort of touching on I like an aggressive squad, and I'm not seeing it from Vitality whatsoever. And this is what you need to do in these starting matches. You do need to really sort of push through and get those eliminations early, because otherwise people are going to take that lead. And I did not see that from them, and also Team Nemesis as well. I did sort of pick them as my underdog, but now they're a little bit too under. To be honest.
A little too under the dogs, as they say.
Yes.
Some of the other squads, GK, not really having a great day here at this star. I know a lot of people expected a lot out of this squad. They were able to previously be with CIS. Now they have a Korean team coming in here. What are the expectations going into this next 4 matches, especially going into the next match?
I mean, I think for the organization, the expectations are high. I think it is a challenge. I mean, I saw, it's hard for you to give a hype speech that involves a translator, right? So, like, the team owners are trying to hype up their guys, and that can be difficult. I do think, again, 2 games in, and you and I know, like, we've played this game, Seven, you know that it is not something that is won in a sprint. This is a marathon, and so I'm not going to write them off for a tough 2 games where circles may not have favored them. I mean, Boatyard is kind of a one-off. Like, I almost got to throw away game 1 in terms of teams that didn't get in. Like, it's hard to do.
Well, let's give it a second, Godspeed. I want you to put yourself in this mindset, all right? You're one of the squads there towards the bottom. You're their coach. What are you going to be telling them, trying to hype them up? Let's just act like they don't have to.
I don't say it. I don't actually think you. My coaching style is a little less. How do I say this? Hand-holdy. I would just lock in. You guys need to lock in 2 teams that I think need to lock in specifically are AJAL and Supers. Right? Yeah. Those are 2 rosters that have absolutely no business being on the bottom. Now, again, we talk about only first 2 games, sure, yeah, whatever. Yep. But again, this is something that can snowball. You and I have specifically seen this so many times where a team that we know should make it, they're like, oh, we're not worried about them. Oh, we're not worried about them. All of a sudden, 2 games left, they're 40 points away from qualifying. So I do think those teams and those rosters are obviously strong enough to make a push. Again, we're early, but seeing them down there this early does.
Hello, Pius. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream.
You're not out of it when you let it slide, but every inch of rope you let slide rips the skin off your hands. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make those plays early. And for every chance you fall lower, it becomes harder, it becomes rougher to mentally get yourself back into this. That's my word with Soup. I think the Supers are amazing. Everyone knows I love Soup, but I need them to step up and slam down here in game 3.
All right. Well, we're going to be working on our coach talk here and make sure that we can actually end up airing it when we come to the desk. Because, Lace, you'll be the next one. Not right now. You'll be the next one maybe if one of these teams don't end up performing well. As we're going to be going into the last game, and for everybody watching at home, make sure you end up predicting some of these squads. Go to the EWC website, go to the app, and just put in your predictions because it's out there for everybody. And if you do share anything on social media, use that hashtag EWC and hashtag EWC26, as we will love to see some of the stuff that you guys are sharing. But it's time that we send it over to none other than
Match chalu ho gaya guys, let's go.
Thank you very much, gang, and we are back for match number 3. We are heading to the dusty dunes of Miramar. So far, made in Thailand, and Team Liquid at the top of the table, but right behind them, Twisted Minds, GAM Esports, Virtus Pro rounding out that top 5. But as the desk mentioned, there's a couple of teams that haven't really shown up just yet, Martin, and maybe it's time for them to find some success here on Miramar. But are we the ones to pass our judgment after just 2 of 12 games? Absolutely. Okay, we'll do that then. As the game is partying up here, Porte, so straight up northwest here, very easy and great playing path. A lot of teams can get into their usual spots here. And Shadow Esports straight into Picado here. Wow. Can they make the most of it so far? They're 9 points because of that first game. They got a good amount of points here, but that center spot there, is that going to pay off, or is going to have to be strong for them? I'll say this, though. We're going to only have 1 Miramar per day for all of Esports World Cup. The featured map is now Tego, where we have that twice per day. So Miramar just once. I do enjoy playing it. I think it's great, but we're going to be going just once per day here. Now for this and how everything kind of lines up, I think a lot of teams are used to those big rotations. And oh my God, look at that first circle pour. We're going straight up north. Just barely kissing the plane path there, isn't it? All the way up to the northeast we go. Up towards Cruz de Valle, up towards El Azahar, towards water treatment. We'll see where it ends up taking us. But 4 a.m., they've got their pick of the litter as to where they want to go to start things off. That could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I know you've had a little bit of experience in game. Do you find it getting that circle 1 dead center, does it become more of a problem, or would you rather be dead center, or would you rather be kind of working your way in?
Guys, let's go. हो चुका है. मैं भी आ चुका guys. चलो.
Extremely early to go to some of these higher priority compounds, the barns, some of the areas around the city.
Okay guys, अभी चल रही है guys टीम में #1 पे चल रही है टीम TL guys, जो अपनी टीम guys थोड़ा अच्छी खेल रही है guys. Let's see क्या होता है.
So you usually have 1 or 2 guys that go into that, drop you just get a few guns, not maybe even having a level 1 backpack, a level 1 health.
सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो गाइस जल्दी से. Come on, सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो और सभी लोग फटाफट स्टोरी लगाओ गाइस जल्दी से.
High priority towards the center of the circle, or we far away, and then that shifts towards if we're far away, we're gonna loot for a long time, try to get as much gear, get your preferred guns, attachment, everything set up, and also as you saw in the last game, utility is
team
so
TL guys
important.
उतरी है guys. Continue हो guys जहाँ पे मेरा favorite जगह है guys. Wow.
It's a big difference between a good central compound and a central compound that you can defend.
GAM, ये #4 पे guys ये
especially
team.
from all sides. As you know, you got some of the best teams in the world in these lobbies. And they're always looking the 3rd, 4th party, any potential fights, try to get those points. We have seen a priority being placed by these teams on securing those kills, making sure that they finish off any knocks that they get. But we've seen how important, you said, as the 60 point roughly is what we're kind of thinking of going in, at least through 2 games, as being our cut line. And there's no last chance qualifier, Martin. It is just top 16 moving on. So there's no backup plan as we see Team Liquid. A little bit close to R8, but it just looks like R8 doesn't want any of this. He's just going to go ahead and pop right on out of there.
Yeah, disengaging immediately here. R8 so far 0 kills, 0 placement points at the bottom of that leaderboard here, and Team Liquid just pushing on, and it's outside the circle. There's no point to fight for this. This has no priority, so I understand.
Okay, Team R8 guys यहाँ पे I think अकेला था इसलिए उसको भागना पड़ रहा है guys. Team R8.
A Molotov in hand, no first aid for him, so he's still trying to loot up here. Maybe even going back to El Pozo is worth it for him. As Ajar is going to try to get some more information. Liquid is leaving. They're going to be going out here, and AGAL so far, surprise to me, only 3 points through kills for them. Has destroyed Delvin, him as installed. See, absolute all-star players.
Destroy AGAL.
Great performance throughout the year for them so far.
Yeah, a lot of expectations placed on that team, and with good reason. As you said, superstars up and down that roster, but nothing clicking just
तुम ना मेरे को
yet,
अपना ये जो आप चैट कर रहे हो स्ट्रीम का मेरे को सर स्क्रीनशॉट मेरे को इंस्टा पे भेजो तो फटाफट
with Nemesis down there and
सेंड मी द इंस्टाग्राम पे अपने को
nobody
स्क्रीनशॉट
really
स्क्रीनशॉट फटाफट जल्दी से
anywhere
चलो
near them, and also nobody really hugging that eastern road ahead of them, so they should have a pretty clean path in, just depending on how long they decide to hold this coastline. they decide to cut in, they may end up running into Virtus Pro, but we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah, AGL obviously getting 2 second places in 2 of the series throughout the PGSs we've had so far this year. Now we take a look at 4AM here. They're a little bit greedy, I would say. It's a 2-1-1 split for them, and if some of these teams sniff out that it's just 1 or 2 players in some of the higher priority compound, they're going to get pulled up on. They're going to get drive-by. I'm looking forward to see what happens with that one for sure.
One thing they got going for them is that their split is pretty tight. So if they
do
get pulled up on,
ऐसा जो screen दिख रहा है ना, ऐसा screen जो दिख रहा है,
a couple of Molotovs by the door,
screen का screenshot
slow things down enough that maybe your teammates could come provide some support, but then you open yourself up to the potentials of third parties, fourth parties. Obviously, you're dead center, right? So everybody is going to see that happening. And
भाई मेरा मार का मैच थोड़ा hard होने वाला है guys. Let's see क्या होता है. Let's see guys.
Keep an eye on 4AM as we check in with Vitality coming through.
भाई ये भी guys traffic में इतना ही कर रहा है guys ये team Vitality का.
Absolutely. And now for the teams that come in.
क्या लगता है guys कि team VP guys अभी भी कुछ कर सकती है guys. अभी ये #5 है guys. इनको बहुत इनको I think एक chicken की need है guys. Team VP को.
And especially with the
Virtus Pro guys एक chicken की need है guys.
If they are in a split, you can see a car leaving a compound. And it's like, okay, they're regrouping in another spot that they prefer, and that's where the backfill comes in. Especially here from a team like Virtus Pro, they're going to come in from this southern side from a high ground spot. They're going to have lots of information available to them once the circle starts moving in closer and starts having a new pop.
Let's check in with Tai Lu. You see just on your mini-map there, Himas from AGAL. This has been a hallmark of AGAL's play. They do like taking these wide individual splits just to get a lot of information about what's going on around them. And it looks like they'll hear Tai Lu, if not see them. Himas will hold the line for now, and Tai Lu will just continue their way around. They do have GAM off to the north as well, continuing to make their way in. I don't know about you, Avenger, but this circle, and I say this knowing that we've had hard shifts before, but this feels like it's got hard shift written all over it, doesn't it? I mean, it's just everybody is crowding to the south side of this zone, essentially, and if this hard shifts to the north, it would be absolute mayhem.
And especially with Myth coming in on that northern side, wouldn't it be a classic that we do get a water treatment shift when they are so far away, especially with how far they've driven? We have seen some tendencies with that coming in, so let's see how Myth approaches this one here. Also with Liquid and Arid coming in from that western side, wouldn't that be a grace for them to get just a little bit of love from that circle shift? But yeah, you are right.
Myth और नहीं Myth और T अच्छा खेल रही है और TWIs जो भी है ना वो भी अच्छा खेल पता है.
Would love a classic hard shift towards the northwest. All the teams would hate it.
Oh yeah, no.
सभी लोग guys please थोड़ा stream पे बने रहो guys तभी तो और भी लोग देखा देखी आएंगे ठीक है. Please सभी लोग stream पे रुके रहो guys please. सभी लोग stream पे रहो guys. कोई कहीं जाओ मत please यार.
Facts. Let's see if we're going to get it. We did see Team Liquid playing with that BRDM, so that's something to keep in mind. As you do get that water treatment shift, so all the teams to the south and the east have to start making their way in. You see AGL already in vehicles.
पता है guys जो बंदा देखो जो बंदा यहाँ पे guys यहाँ पे रुकेगा ना water treatment ये जगह perfect है guys. जो बंदा इसका पहाड़ी ले लिया capture कर लेगा इस पहाड़ी समझ लो guys वो match निकाल सकता है guys. Let's see क्या होता है.
Their way over there as well.
Absolutely. Whereas Pro not getting anything from this circle here. They're actually trying to exit, maybe go for a wide wrap here potentially.
You do see a couple of teams kind of considering, like Nemesis right now is trying to make a way up to the north on the eastern side, which may push them over towards Tai Lu. It looks like GAM and Myth coming in late from that northern side have actually been blessed.
मुझे लग रहा है कि कहीं fight ना हो जाए इनका.
Oh, of the litter as to where they want.
Firing आ रहा है guys पे. Guys 4 AM को guys एक बंदा पकड़ा गया guys अकेले और I hope guys इस पे push ना हो बस.
Currently held by Hitsameme.
एक बंदा guys 4 AM पे यहाँ पे सामने का इनके. I think इनको पता होगा इनके बारे में.
Leave Hasameme by himself here as we'll see if he can escape in the Bronco. Nobody's shooting just. Oh, that's a tough turn. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, every second that ticks by.
To get it out.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, भाई भागा guys भाग गया.
Let him escape there.
4 AM guys यहाँ से निकला guys.
Also because like 4AM already has a decent compound here. Sure, it's not as dead center as AGL's here, but I'd rather be a
decent
compound, and they can backfill this compound later on. 4AM can still move west here, so Getting at some ammo out here is very crucial for 4AM's campaign throughout this Miramar game that we have going on. Match 3 so far.
Guys 4AM के टीम कितने बंदे हैं? चारों बंदे हैं. टीममेट है कहाँ इनके? वो guys गाड़ी पे फोड़ दिया गया है.
Good. Already smoking just a little bit here. He's
going to try to get out
behind some of the cover that's here. Shots are connecting. He's just behind cover. Delvin.
Guys, क्या बचा guys? वो last blood लेता guys खत्म हो जाएगा वो तो.
Coming in. Roman.
There's a little combination there between AGA. Looks like Spaceman might be going on a rescue mission.
Team R8 guys यहाँ पे कैंप करिए ओके ठीक है.
Keep an eye on that. Here's Full Sense pulling up on this southwestern side. Now they got Tigger off in the blue, and they're going to spot out R8 just ahead, and they should maybe spot out Team Liquid as well. I think Luke 12 was the only one left behind, but Team Liquid, nice path for them. They managed to make their way into that northwestern side relatively cleanly, so a lot of space for them to work around just on that western part of water treatment. They might be in trouble here. They're making the
जहाँ तक मेरे को लग रहा है कि ये वाला मैच टीम VP निकाल सकता है गाइस क्योंकि वो लोग प्रॉपर जोन में है जल्दी से.
Oh, look at all these shots. And in the arena it's rumbling.
और टीम VP को गाइस चिक्का निकालना जरूरी है गाइस. टीम VP गाइस लोग कहाँ पर है? प्रॉपर कहाँ गए टीम VP?
No, with this one here next circle is about to be up in here, and DN Super's ready for this emergency pickup. It goes somewhat south here, so I might wonder if one of them just stays. Twisted Minds looking great, GK looking great, AGL
guys, जो टीम ये पहाड़ी ले लेगा ना ये पहाड़ी ले लेगा उसको प्रॉपर परफेक्ट
moving in and they're getting extremely close to mid here.
जो बताइए पहाड़ी पे रुक जाएगा ये पहाड़ी.
Potentially fighting shortly for water treatment control.
Are indeed, and looks
like Team TL कहाँ guys? Okay guys, Team TL वही करे जो मैं बोला guys. वो लोग पहाड़ी अभी ये warehouses ले रहे हैं guys बोलते.
Went south, they left the circle, then came back in. So that south side, you can just see it's so congested that the teams are being forced to kind of make somewhat awkward moves here. As Full Sense will full send directly into the south side of water treatment.
Okay, Team
not
TL guys यहीं पर है
set up for
और Team FS से fight होने वाला है.
Kind of finding their way around as Purdy Curdy has that BRDM scouting around, and that sandstorm hitting at the worst possible time. I'm not sure if he was able to hear Full Sense pull through. Here's Nemesis. We'll take a few shots at GAM, at least the trailing duo of GAM making their way through their territory.
They're trying to take some open space along these ridges here, but Smith is there. Jacob, the IGL, is out front scouting, trying to get information.
Easy है guys, easy है.
As the other guys are having high ground control, putting a lot of pressure on GAM as they move in and get closer to this spot here.
Guys,
yeah, sure, they're inside the circle.
जो पहाड़ी guys, my brother guys, वो पहाड़ी guys इन्होंने ले लिया guys.
Jacob's spot here, that could easily be an approach.
GAM ने ले लिया guys वो पहाड़ी.
Inside. Purdy Curdy and the guys
Team Myth का fight होने वाला guys.
Maintaining some of the control here of the water treatment, but I don't think they are aware how close
and how many
of inside the southern side of water treatment.
I feel like if Jacob had any
stream को like करो vote करो Sam official का
grenade, he might get a little bit more active here. But if nothing else, he's going to at least keep track.
Stream quality कैसी है guys? Stream quality कैसी है? इसको और improve करूँ.
Scappy Baron and still off to the north, still kind of keeping track of everything, making their way through. But this is not a bad spot for Myth to play here. As
Indian team आज Indian team में कोई भी matches नहीं है guys.
The coordinates from Jacob. We'll see if those mortars do fall on top of GAM here.
I love that approach from Myth. I think that
Team Myth का guys कितने player है? Team Myth में
of the operation from Jacob.
चारों player है, but I think वो लोग थोड़ा वो खेल रहे हैं guys proper.
And assault onto GAM. Let's see what happens with this one here. R8 also getting somewhat involved here with the Full Sense and Team Liquid's shenanigans inside water treatment. They do have a lot of control on the western side here. If they get a western shift, my biggest observation right now is that the 3-1 split from Twisted Minds, having example inside that little gas station, if that shifts towards them, it's going to leave a lot of open space with the big Twisted Mind compound in the center.
Okay, launcher! Oh!
The mortars are falling, but they're going to go a little bit too far, but Jacob will find Tanvu. He'll find another one as well.
Jacob
nice. With the high ground, making that AUG sing, but now he's getting shot at from the side by Solo. He's got to retreat.
Scabby might have heard. He's right here. You heard the nade. Shots coming in. Baron finds it. He drops the nade. Could be doing damage.
Nice.
Doc Juice confirms himself, but does some damage to Scabby. One more player left
alive. मरने वाली guys.
Nades are hauling towards him. It's doing damage to him. 39 from that one. He does have a Panzerfaust in hand.
He saw Purdy Curdy pulling up in the BRDM and pulled out the Panzerfaust. Looks like Kurt was able to escape just in the nick of time.
Virtus
Pro gets eliminated, crashing right on top of Petrogor Road. But that south shift so huge right now, as you mentioned, Twisted Minds had that.
Oh my god, this shift is insane. There's so much open fields in play here with that road going through. Tyloo sending it. Cowboy finds Kiss. Diffix got the nade, but everything is opening up here. Guman did get Dragon. Jacob goes out as well. Team Liquid putting so much pressure on it. All the teams on the northern side, they realize we have no priority inside the circle. We're just going to fight for points, try to get as many kills and eliminations as possible.
Well, so many teams opting for the salvage game right now as you see all the scrapping going on the north side, on the northeast side.
Okay,
AGL just trying to send it right through the middle through the GK 4 AM gauntlet, and it looks like they're going to get away with it for now. Twisted Minds still managing to keep all four up while holding the line here against Shadow Esports, but there are eyes looking over in this direction as it looks like
Byte team VP guys eliminate हो चुकी है guys. Team VP eliminate हो चुकी है.
Nemesis crashed down upon them. Looks like Team Liquid is now going to leave water treatment as well.
Porte तो मैं हूँ लाडले. Guys आज थोड़ा सा लोग साथ stream पर रुकना guys please. सब लोग साथ stream पर रुको आज.
Both having lost players. A lot of pressure is being applied here. Forum is considering, is this worth it? Shots coming in. Tyloo is out in 14th place. And Deal is left to a two-man in this compound here, but 4 kills for them is going to push them up the leaderboard.
Team Myth और Team VP guys eliminate हो जाएगा. Team TL बचा है guys. I hope guys ये chicken निकाल ले guys.
To regroup as we see Nemesis trading off with Gam. Only
reload
left alive, playing around that ridgeline stage.
Zone guys, zone में निकलना guys, zone में निकलना guys अपने लॉन्डो को.
Any joy. But Clories is going down to the blue quickly. The grenades will get sent out. He's going to put one up against the backboard. It's not going to do enough to take down Diffix. But Clories is bleeding out. Team Liquid.
Oh, Team Liquid ने guys proper zone में चले गए. अब ये लोग zone keep करेंगे दो का.
See if they can maybe third party this, get some more points.
Team Liquid guys proper zone hold कर लिए.
Team Liquid was so smart.
GAM and MSS को भाई लपेट देगी guys zone के बाहर ही.
To them and still got that BRDM in play here. Now they're going towards Geeky. That might be a big fight here. I don't know if it's worth pulling up in a compound like this, but there's no priority. Cloris finds Diffix, continues to have an impact onto Nemesis.
These solo players are so hard to get rid of. As Cloris showing him out, and there you go. Stead will end up finishing him off, and we'll try to see if he can make his way in. It looks like he's electing not even to try. We'll just go ahead and try to heal up. And
41 player alive है guys. Phase 5 में 41 player alive है.
Still having to deal with a shadow in their midst.
Okay.
It looks like they're content with.
Okay. Team TL का guys 2 बंदे knock पड़े guys.
Team Liquid getting peppered from range. They're gonna have to hop all into the BRDM.
Team Liquid guys face कर रही है guys. बहुत ज़्यादा face कर रही है Team Liquid guys. बहुत ज़्यादा.
Just down to Pretty Curry at Loop 12 here. Go out for the center. Look, there's a few open spots here. That might be very playable for them. Yeah, actually, it is somewhat center in this zone. And we do have a big road in the middle that's splitting the zone in half here. Now, Guman is going to be trying to defend
Hello,
the spot here from 4
AM. We were waiting for this push. It looked like 4 AM was stepping around in this direction, knowing that Supers was down to 2, but Supers holding the line so far. As we see the circle will up to the north once again. More fighting going on as R8 is getting eliminated. It looks like Shadow has overstayed their welcome. R8
को भाई साहब लोग क्या लपेट रहे guys R8 को.
Ambitious. They're going to pay the price for it as they are down to just 1.
Yeah, Nemesis out in 12th place here. So many teams trying to approach this Twisted Mind compound. They're being smart about it. They're holding off. They're maintaining control of the western side because they know they can third party later on. They didn't want anything from this very
R8 guys. बिल्कुल भी guys कुछ भी नहीं है. किल कुछ भी नहीं है.
Look at this. 4M got the rest, but Supers are trying to put so much pressure onto them to get the most out of it. Perfected fight Belmont, and now Spaceman. Look at that. The off angle from Deal pays off.
Supers just 5-head plays here, but there's just too many men to deal with, and Deal will get spotted out in the end, and they know exactly where Guman is. Up and on the high ground, you hear shots coming in. This is Vitality third partying from range, making things a little bit difficult as they'll steal away Deal. Now the grenades will come through. Blues on grenade do a little bit of damage, but Guman just a pain in the butt right now for 4 angry men.
That's going to be him out for sure. He's laying down.
Molly, Molly's for guys. Nice.
DN Supers out in
Let's go. Eliminate हो guys.
DNS with the Molotov.
Duke managed to collect a few kills there before going out, so not the worst thing.
4 AM guys, still 4 man अभी है, ठीक है guys.
3 games in, only 8 points, not the way they wanted to start their tournament.
नहीं, Indian team नहीं है guys. Indian team अभी कोई नहीं है guys. No Indian team.
Send something in here, find a spot to play, and they've got some ridges that could actually maybe keep an eye over here on this Twisted Shadow R8 compound.
Okay guys, यहाँ पे ये full sense guys heal battle कर रहा है.
Also trying to survive and make the most of it, but Flash, so much damage being done here by Phase 5 as everything closes in 20 seconds. We're going to hit Phase 6. Pacro finds Quizzy. Some damage done here onto Vitality as they have this center spot here. It could pay off for them, but let's see how much time they got for it.
Man.
Oh, look at the util coming in. Levante goes down as well to I-26, Faro.
You almost feel like that was a bait pit for them to hide in. It looked
so
good until it didn't.
Oh,
and now
nahi kill nahi chala paya guys.
As Vitality is just taking it from all sides. Gedrock's the last player left on his feet. We'll see if Hello My Bag can actually retreat through the smoke cloud to get revived, but that is going to be asking a lot here as you see Chewy from Petrichor Road just keeping eyes on everything around him. Diggy, diggy hole, the mantra of the day.
भाई कोई मोर्टार तो यूज कर रहा है गाइस. बहुत ही क्लोज मोर्टार यूज कर रहा है गाइस.
Teams here, Paro. Just one more team eliminated. It's going to be one more point for placement here. So much pressure being put onto Vitality, and it just swings around the ball. The cars are exploding too, and yeah, you said it perfectly here. That could be a great bait setup for it. Did love it.
Team together guys, 2-man standing guys, okay?
Side control here as GK try to move into the northern side here, but they also have Team Liquid that's set up towards that center spot. We still have this big road that's effectively just a big river of nothing going through because there's just open space and no cover to play around that.
Absolutely, and saw GK.
I think idea नहीं है guys, आगे बढ़ते भी हैं.
A lot of teams down south, 6 kills already for them. They've taken a knock. It looks like they're going to be able to get that man back on his feet. I think that's EJ.
Oh guys, jump करके देख रहा है.
Getting revived as 4 AM, getting a little bit close to Petrichor Road, but you see how difficult
damage हो गया, damage होने से. Okay, knock.
Guys out as grenades
nice
and bullets will take down 2 from 4 AM almost instantly. Shen has to stop down to heal up as Winda kind of off.
Last man standing guys. 4 AM का दो बंदे हैं.
Nonsense just yet. The blue zone grenade going to force Shen to move once again. Not able to go for the res on the spaceman just yet.
अरे revive क्यों नहीं कर रहा guys ये?
Let's see here what 4AM is going to be able to do. I don't think they're able to save Spaceman. If it looks like, oh, okay, might be able to get the rest off here. No utility being thrown at them just now. Pacro is out. Stolen by Pretty Curdy.
लोग अभी 3-man हो जाएंगे, 3-man हो जाएंगे. 3v2 करना है इनको.
Look how many teams is on the south compared to the north. AGL, Liquid, half a GK basically. This might be an AGL game depending on what happens here. Shen, more damage done. This car is going to explode too. The Golden Mirado out of there.
Well, it was a good thought for a second. But fortunately for them, they're still in right now.
Twisted, guys.
No more vehicles, though. You can be the rest of your game kind of decided by how many more smokes you have in the bag. As example, just free farming fire over on this direction. 5 kills now for Twisted Mind, still 4 alive. A lot of that having to do with the patience that they've displayed in holding this compound.
Team Twist पे और Team SC से guys fight होने वाला है और R8 भाई एकदम proper छुपा पड़ा है guys ये.
For now, just let them
भाई बहुत intense चल रहा है guys, बहुत intense चल रहा है.
This is such a great compound to be putting out pressure to the rest of the circle. It's just flat terrain around them. Let's see if they are able to maintain.
Zone कर चुका है guys Team AGL और Team GK. तो guys zone का आना पड़ेगा. और टीम 4AM को भी आना पड़ेगा गाइस. पता है क्या जीके गाइस, जीके टीम जीके फिर टीम टीएल जो है ना गाइस वो ड्रॉप पर आता है ड्रॉप के पास, तो भाई कुछ हो सकता है.
Fight between AGL, Liquid, and GK.
Oh, nice knock.
Shadow Esports going to get an opportunity to fix their mistakes from game 1 whenever they weren't able to hold off Myth as they made their push away. We'll see if they can hold off Twisted this time around. It's 4 AM, just beaten, battered, and bruised, but still alive and still in it. Trying to fight their way in, but Chewy and I-26 just dug in so well. That is so difficult to try to dispatch with. AGAL, meanwhile, they're outside in the blue, or right on the edge right now, and they're taking a lot of damage here for Twisted.
Oh, nice knock. Don't knock, guys. Don't knock, guys. Don't knock वहाँ पे. Oh, knock नहीं.
And him has gone down. It's going to be rough. It's going to be difficult. Maybe even impossible for them to get in. Delvin bleeds out. Setsuna gets the point for Shadow Esports. As the leaderboard does light up quite a bit here. 3 teams at the top is alive, but look at that.
Twisted Minds just exerting pressure across the entire lobby right now from the last bit of high ground. 600 something damage there, for example. No kills just yet, but Twisted 6 on the board for the team. As 4 AM trying to regroup and see if they can maybe take this fight against Petrichor Road, and it's going to be a little bit easier now that AGAL has been eliminated.
Liquid might get a lot of points away from this game here. Hello, my bad fans. Shin here. Setsuna finds Songjang. Without it, just 6 teams now as 4 AM is eliminated. Hello, my bad, and Vitality is able to defend this off with Getrox as well being alive inside this circle.
What a hold, Vitality. Down to 2. They took the quote-unquote bait ditch earlier. Perfectix just solo pushing Teddy.
Oh, RN ने क्या मारा guys? Oh, RN ने 1v3 किया guys. Oh, भाई मार दिया guys. अभी RN ने क्या 1v3 किया guys.
Shadow Esports
Nice.
just Kamals, but the damage has been done. All the teams that were
oh, nice. यार RN ने क्या 1v3 किया guys.
It's a 2v2, v1v1 unless Shadow can get both of these revives off.
Oh my god, what a way for Shadow to get that. Teddy made everything possible, and they could third-party that fight between Twisted Minds and him. And look at this next circle here. Does go off the road here. Liquid's gonna have to make moves.
Hey guys, सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो, सभी लोग वोट करो guys. क्या लगता है guys? सभी लोग फटाफट वोट करो, लॉन्डो. सभी लोग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो.
And they are able to just fully reset. Vitality not in a position to where they could capitalize off of those 2 knocks. They just have great position. There's no reason for them to push just yet. We'll see what Petrichor Road decides to do. Chewy and I-26 really, I think, just
guys.
just a game of chicken between themselves and Luke 12 to see who has to move first.
Yeah, surely it's just, you know, Luke dying out when he has to run from this one here. It's difficult to make anything work without vehicles, without cover. Yeah, Petrichor Road about to be having a fight with Vitality. This could just be a straight up gift to Shadow Esports. Perfect third-party opportunity from them. It looked like Twisted Minds had it in the bag, but Teddy.
Guys, ये टीम TL का guys अभी सिर्फ लास्ट मैन स्टैंडिंग है और guys
4 points overall.
Let's see guys क्या होता है. जोन के बाहर है ये.
In last place.
Like it might have been a
मर गया.
rare miss.
Oh, ये नहीं यार. फालतू भाई इतने heal ढंग से लगाया नहीं guys हर टाइम पे. हट.
Not knowing that he was there because he
Pyro टीम जीतेगी. Let's see guys. टीम Pyro में 2 बंदे लाइव है और टीम SC में 3 बंदे लाइव है और टीम VIT में 2 बंदे लाइव है guys. 2v3 है guys, okay? मुझे लग रहा है guys टीम SC guys चिकन निकाल सकता है guys. अगर निकाल लिया guys तो वो अपना वो क्या तो #2 या फिर #3 पे तो आ जाएगा आराम से. अगर चिकन निकाल लिया टीम SC तो.
Pay the price for it. Now Team Vitality on the hold here against Petrichor Road. They've managed to find a little bit of high ground. They still got grenades left, and they're going to drop them right on top of Halo My Bad, but it's not going to land.
Oh!
Those grenades, you have to hit those if you're Petrichor Road.
And
that's going to take down I-26. The smoke walls are going down quickly. He's going to try to go for the res. We'll see if Vitality lets him.
Okay, Pyro revive कर रहा है guys.
Getrox might even be stuck under the car. It exploded straight onto him. He was stuck down in a hole.
Oh, ये stuck हो जाएगा क्या?
Even get out.
ये stuck हो चुका है.
Yeah.
The car slid onto the top of him here. Him being able to be alive is a miracle.
भाई वो stuck हो चुका है guys.
For Vitality, but I don't even think they have any utility left to throw over at Petrichor Road, but Petrichor does have utility of their own to send down, and so does Shadow, who are taking the opportunity to take
Team Pyro मार गया, Team Pyro मार गया guys.
And now they're trying to collect some more
points. Team Pyro गया.
Will finish off Petrichor Road. Vitality secures second
place.
Oh,
Team SC guys चिकन निकाल लिया guys. बहुत ही प्यारा.
Relative unknowns come in and get the massive win.
What a way for them to defend that compound. Third-party Twisted Minds take down Teddy and then take the chicken dinner here. Shadow Esports. What a way to do it. 9 points going into this.
भाई ये हंस रहा है पता है एक सारा गाड़ी में फंस गया था भाई ये.
They're able to get way more points than you actually expected for them, considering that they sent it that deep into the circle, found some holes, dug out, and put pressure onto Petrichor Road.
It was always going to be a tough game for Vitality once those circles kind of pulled away. They're fighting them from the south and just set it, and they should be. What a game from Shadow. I mean, the fact that Twisted Minds basically allowed them to live right next to them without ever pushing them for a majority of that game, it felt like. And then in the end, as you said, Teddy just throwing just a wrench in the works for Twisted. It was like they didn't know he was there.
It felt like the way they set up was like, okay, as long as our part of the compound is in, we're just going to put pressure. You saw examples, tons of damage, no kills, sure, the other guys got most of it, but still, they were able to just think, okay, let's try to get as many kills as we can from outside the circle, and then we're going to deal with the compound later. It felt like an easy plan, but the way it got executed was just not the way to do it for Twisted Mind. Still, sure, they got points. They are so far ahead right now. They're still in the top 4, and it's looking good. And we're only halfway through day 1 here. 3rd game done, Poro. What's your thoughts so far on the teams?
Oh man, I mean, Myth looked absolutely dominant in their victory. Team Liquid now putting another good game up there as well. I think they're in sole possession of 1st place. So Team Liquid looking pretty strong. Twisted Minds, despite not getting a win just yet, they're looking pretty strong as well. You can't discount them. I mean, exerted so much influence over that lobby this last game just because of that high ground that they were holding.
Shadow Esports. They know that they're about to win here. So excited.
That's massive.
Let's go, guys.
You can't help but smile.
Guys.
You can't help but be excited for them. I mean, this is a team, let's be honest, not a lot of people had very high expectations of coming into this. They're not a known commodity, but that is a big, big win for them here in match number 3 to follow a pretty good performance in game number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Found themselves in the boatyard. Were able to set up and then take the chicken dinner here in game 3.
We love that. Well, 3 games down. We've still got 3 more left to play, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
DC पे आऊँगा, आधा DC पे आ जाओ. भाई जो मैच निकाला है ना गाइस उन्होंने, वाह भाई, अनबिलीवेबल गाइस.
All of our players to be able to identify some keen plays from some past tournaments. Today we're going to have Luke 12 and Cowboy joining me here. How are you boys doing? Doing okay?
Doing well, yeah. Doing good, doing good.
How are you feeling about your chances here to figure out some of these plays?
Not good about that. Not too good, not too good.
Not too good. All right, well, let's roll the first clip and see if they can identify a play from the past. Okay, we're on Miramar.
A
crash. Which teams or players may be in this clip?
Genji and T.
Ding, ding, ding. That is a correct answer straight away from Luke 12.
I know this clip, I can't remember who,
I see the Genji logo now.
There you go, Genji and TE, the hold, 2v4. Okay, that's 1-0. Let's move on to the next clip. Actually, I can see on the leaderboard why this might be easy to identify.
It's Twisted and...
Twisted and someone not doing well.
Genji again?
I think Genji again, almost.
I'll give you a few more seconds. You're right with one team, obviously.
Can't tell who this
Arrow? I don't know.
No, I think in the end this one is Twisted versus All Gamers Global, actually. AGAL. Next one's yours, okay?
Yeah.
You've got this next one.
Oh, Team Liquid.
Wait!
I got it.
He did it!
I did it.
He did it!
Easy, guys.
All right, Luke, what happened here? You can tell it.
I think we almost...
आजा पंग डिस्कॉर्ड आजा, चिली मिनट डिस्कॉर्ड आजा बच्चा. आजा कमान ज्वाइन करो फटाफट.
Some chaos.
You know what's funny?
Genji, yeah.
What player is that?
I don't know. Some bullshit's happening.
You know what's funny? Is that actually, yes, of course, it is Liquid versus Genji, and it is described as Liquid BRDM Chaos versus Genji.
भाई लोग कितने गोरे हैं ना गाइस, मतलब कितने गोरे हैं ना.
Team Liquid.
That's us.
Who are you shooting at? Let's see who that is.
Oh!
With that shot.
उसने उतारा गाइस, गाड़ी उतार दिया गाइस उसने. Nice.
You're amazing.
I think we're camping T5 right now.
Out of North George?
Yeah.
Purdy headshot versus T5.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
There you go.
The ball guy.
All right, the final clip. Let's run it. Also might be quite difficult. From 2023, game is 8.
Is this Pixel?
Oh, I remember this clip. Yeah, it's...
I don't know the teams. Pixel's the guy that clutched, right?
Yeah,
that is correct.
I remember this.
But you don't remember who he's against?
SSG?
Nope.
No. FF?
Nope.
I have no clue.
It was E Arena, but hey, you got Pixel. It's pixelated and you got Pixel. Guys, you did amazing. Well played, boys. I thought you were going to be doomed, but you knocked it out of the park. All right, that is our first iteration. Thank you very much, Luke. Thank you very much, Cowboy.
चलो guys, मैच चालू होने वाला guys. Be ready.
Well, except one person. We were being told, don't even talk about them. Don't bring him up. But Shadow Esports with the... That's
what?
right. And another top piece, you were believing in this team since the beginning.
I don't know if I go that far. I will say that I said that they needed to have a good day one because tomorrow is going to be probably the worst day of their competitive career because they have to go up against 17 for a bunch of drops. So they need to have a good day today, and my goodness, they sure did. Now, that was handed to them on a silver platter the way that end game sort of played out, but I'm not going to disrespect it. A win is a win. It doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile.
Look, we've seen a lot of teams with the same position who should have won, not win, right? Not take the advantage and push that envelope forward. So the fact that they were able to get the win is great. Also, Setsuna, just great round from him, really coming in the clutch right at the end with a couple kills. You know, maybe one or two, who knows?
Especially when we talk about that finish. I know Godspeed, when we were watching, it's like, man, that is one of the toughest finishes for a lot of the squads.
Yeah, so that circle, there's a few circles in Miramar just horrible to play. That specific one around that compound south of water treatment is one of those, because if you're not already set up in the zone, especially where you saw teams like Twisted already trying to get set up, it's a crapshoot, right? How many times have we seen
that Shadow Esports sir, okay,
a problem for the teams, and as you can see,
match 3 में guys,
Shadow, though, they were able to kind of put themselves
Team Liquid guys #2 पे दी, okay,
and that's exactly why they were able to weather the storm and get that first place finish with 19 points, 9 kills. That's impressive.
And Team Liquid being able to bounce back in this one after Myth ended up
by AGL
destroying them. You know,
और ये Viltas guys बहुत ही बेकार खेल रहे हैं guys ये लोग. But कोई ना, let's see क्या होता है.
7 coming in from kills. Now, Lace, I know you're looking at one team specifically, and it's none other than Full Sense, because right now they're not having one of the hottest starts. Very inconsistent.
Yeah, let's have a little conversation about them. For, you know, a defending world champ, we ain't seen this very champion-like team, but, you know, being in that sort of middle of the rank on the leaderboard, but I'm seeing a very slow decline. And like with a player like, you know, Belmont on there, I just don't know how they're sort of going to bring this back. And, you know, they came from a first, I think, in the Pubg Thailand series. So I guess their sort of competitor at the moment is like the likes of Myth, where they're doing exceptionally well. But
guys, सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो गाइस, जल्दी से. Come on. किलिमिली और पंक आप लोग डिस्कॉर्ड आ जाओ, अगर आप लोग डिस्कॉर्ड आना है तो सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो जल्दी से.
If we learned anything about Full Sense at PGC, it's that they're exclusively a finals team. So here in the group stages, we don't really know how they play, and I think they are being caught off guard. Now, they did well in the Thailand series, but my pick for that, and the reason they did that, is I think it's a little bit weaker as a larger group, but more importantly, it's an aggressive style of play over there that I don't know that it translates as quickly to the international.
It's an APAC thing.
It is.
It happens in multiple games. I don't know what's going on in my region, guys, but we're just full send. But
Views by, thank you for Samosa, thank you so much.
That's literally what built APAC, right? When we talk about, you know, the slump 2-3 years ago when they weren't that great, that was still always their style. You look at teams of the past like Day Trade, right? They were so fun to watch because they would just send it in, but they would die. And we're kind of seeing a little bit of a throwback to that, which I'm not really a big fan of.
Guys, ये जो earphone use कर रहे हैं, वो earphone का नाम क्या है guys? ये कौन सा IEM है guys? किसी को कुछ idea है guys? ये कौन सा है Londo?
The trend of going backwards is not what we want to see from these guys.
And something that ended up helping out some of the squads there that were in the middle of the pack is that I believe from first place to 6th place.
Anyone have any idea guys? क्या है guys ये?
2 squads alive. Only 2 teams, which kind of allows some of the other teams to catch up, especially with the dominance that we were seeing earlier on out of Myth. One of those squads being Vitality as well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as Vitality goes, and we'll get to, I'll turn that over to you to talk about in a second. I do want to say that you can't hold this circle against anybody, though. As you brought up, this was a nothing burger of a circle, right?
Yeah.
And some teams had to try to find a make a feast.
He
tried, and others came through with a little bit of a better position.
I mean, I was just going to touch on our joke that we had. I think they may have heard us because we were talking a little bit of smack about Team Vitality being down the bottom there. But honestly, I think that kind of pulled in their favor. Do I think it's down to skill and... No, I think it was a bit of luck. I stared into the camera and said that one. I'm so sorry.
Toughies, you mentioned burger earlier, man. Come on, I'm over here gonna get hungry because I know somebody that's currently hungry for a lot of
Use by Pani Puri or God.
My goodness, his performance today, Godspeed. We saw him earlier on with the mortar, but now backing it up, it doesn't matter what he uses. He's just performing today.
Look, when Luke 12 first joined the STK standouts, right? Steve, you know this. He was arguably, in fact, I don't even say arguably, he probably was the best player on that team.
Overall ranking guys ये है कि Team Liquid guys अभी भी still #1 पे है guys और Myth #2 पे है, Twisted Mind तीसरे पे और guys इन पे guys ज्यादा difference नहीं है 1, 2, 3 में guys इतना ज्यादा difference नहीं है. ये लोग easily guys जो मैच अच्छा निकालेगा उसको बाइट निकल जाएगा लौंडे का.
been wonderful to watch because Luke has always been a powerhouse on that squad.
The spark is
टीम
back.
5 को गाइस एक चिकन निकालना पड़ेगा, और बैटलिटी को भी गाइस एक चिकन निकालना ही पड़ेगा, तभी गाइस कुछ होगा.
And it seems to work well.
कबीर खान भाई आ गया भाई, थैंक यू भाई, थैंक यू सो मच भाई फॉर द स्ट्रीम. पे रुको गाइस, आप सभी लोग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो सभी लोग.
You got to remember, like Alo, Purdy, and Luke have been playing together for, was it, we had like 7-8 years.
Okay, Britas guys देख रहे हो गाइस, #8 पर है गाइस, 4 agreement #12.
The thing I love about what they did is they got caught on that rotation
GK
trying to go over to the
Sports,
left side from the top.
Game
They lost
Sports,
2 players and they turned back.
अच्छा फिल्म में आपका फेस कैम का वीडियो डिले क्यों है?
I think it was 4 or 5 points out of that
नहीं तो?
recovery, and that's what the difference is
पता
between
नहीं है
winning and
guys.
losing these events.
I also have to say, of that roster, you talk about the core 3, but when Sparking had joined that team, everyone was so excited, and he was so dang talented.
ऐसा कुछ है क्या?
Cowboy, I think, has been a wonderful addition. He's really been stepping up in the roster as well. So I want to give a big shout out to
सही तो है
Cowboy's
यार.
performances.
And he needs a haircut. You might see that short.
Okay, I'm not saying all that.
He said it to me. He's like, "Where is the barber?" And I said, "I'm pretty sure there's one at EWC. Don't worry."
There is one actually. I ended up using it, so
Nice.
it looks okay. Well, I'll let him know exactly where it's at. Maybe we'll have.
सभी लोग प्लीज स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो और वोट करो गाइस, कम ऑन. सभी लोग गाइस फटाफट ठोक दो गाइस, क्योंकि भाई पता है यार स्टार्टिंग में गाइस वाईफाई का चूतिया पकड़ गया.
We have AGAL there towards the end too. This squad is gonna have to step it up in a big way. You know what? We'll actually get a chance to talk about some of these other squads later on. But for right now, I'm hearing that we got something going on in this stage with Barney and Luti.
Let's go.
It's called the City of Love. Yeah. But you guys put garlic in everything. You must go through breath mints like crazy.
You know what, Bunny? What I wonder about London, it's like, it's called the Big Smokes, and you all have bad teeth.
Yo, okay. Well, snails are gross.
I know, but British food is like tasting of nothing.
Yeah, that's fair.
You suck at football!
Yeah, that is fair. Yeah. Truce?
Okay.
Okay, so we're about to go into match number 4. We need to rethink our strategy. What's our approach?
I think we just find a pickaxe, and we dig a hole, and we stay in it.
That's a good idea. Or we could get a third person's perspective on this next one. Casters, over to you.
I saw what you did.
Thank you so much, guys. It is going to be Matchroom and Paper Thin reunited, and it feels so good, my man.
So good, my friend. I am so happy to be back. It is going to be awesome. Been having a ton of fun watching the games. Not as much fun joining, James on the stage just because it's James. But other than that, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, we both got to go hang out with James for just a second. We're getting a pretty interesting situation going on with Shadow having to come up here at the end. Big shout out to Setsuna, of course, just a magnificent performance. And we just got to see them step up and him step up for his team whenever we looked at the ENC qualifiers. They got into that 4th place cusp position and barely managed to qualify for the main stage. So it has been just a good couple of weeks for Setsuna.
For sure. And he was also at PNC representing Indonesia just not too long ago.
Oh guys, match चालू हो गया है guys. Let's go.
Really showcasing what he can do.
Rondo.
A little bit of space and opportunity. Very impressive the way he's able to lock down that compound and keep some really good teams out. They struggled with it.
Let's
first
go.
game we highlighted it quite a bit that they could.
मैच चालू हो चुका है गाइस, ये मैच चौथा है और गाइस टीम लिक्विड गाइस जा कहां रही गाइस, मुझे लग रहा है गाइस टीम लिक्विड गाइस यहां पर आके यहां जाएगी गाइस, रिंग जियांग जाएगी गाइस. आई थिंक सो, मुझे लग रहा है गाइस वो रिंग जियांग ही जाएगी, और आई थिंक एक ही टीम है गाइस वहां पर, उनके अगल बगल गाइस आई थिंक कोई भी नहीं है. लेट्स सी.
Maybe we can get a Jadina City some point in the future, but
we got a boatyard.
Team Liquid off of a good salvage in that last game is just being really consistent. We started the day kind of talking a little bit of trash about them. If it takes talking trash about Team Liquid for them to perform like this, consider me a #1 Team Liquid hater.
All right, go ahead. Speak your piece, my friend. I'll let you wrap. I might need to start going off a little bit about the Korean teams then, because they have been not doing so hot here today. GK and the Supers have been just a little bit kind of underperforming, I'd say.
I mean, it's day 1 Supers. I kind of consider that to be like kind of how they start. It's always a slow roll. Circle does pop a bit off that river coming out of Jadina City over to the west of it, so that is going to be Full Sense, who also just had a little bit of trash thrown their way by the desk. Now they're going to find themselves centered in a very open circle.
कबीर भाई, पंक भाई, क्या ऐसा हो रहा है क्या कि मेरा वॉइस पहले आ रहा है एंड देन मेरा मुंह बाद में चल रहा है, ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है क्या?
Let's go ahead, and I think that we've got a little thing that we're going to check out here.
Yeah, I think we got a little bit of an interview that we want to hear from 4 a.m. soon.
Yes भाई, definitely होंगे कबीर भाई, होंगे गाइस, वो भी टाइम आएगा गाइस, रुक जाओ गाइस, टाइम आएगा, फिर आप लोग सपोर्ट करोगे मेरे को.
Oh, how did I miss that? That was good. Well done.
龙都我最喜欢跳的是地图中心的车站，然后因为也是跟沙漠是雷同的嘛，然后地图圈中心，然后物资肥，然后肉点的人也多。
All right, Winda. 4 Angry Men, not a terrible day, not a great day, not a good day, but this is a squad I came in with a lot more expectations. Spaceman's been popping off, Shin kind of coming into the squad, having a lot of success, but Winda has been the guy so far whenever we've been looking at this, most notably today. 12 points
guys,
on the day for 4 Angry
still
Men is
Team
gonna
Liquid
make
guys,
for a lot
अभी
of
भी guys
fans.
top #1 पे बैठी है guys, और टीम मिथ और टीम ट्विस्टेड माइंड guys, ये तीनों guys पल रहा बहुत ही भारी है guys, और टीम एससी का भी, ये 4 टीम बहुत ही क्लोज है guys. I hope guys देखते guys TL जीतेगा ये वाला मैच guys, चिकन निकाले. Let's see. बड़े मजा आ रहा है. यस एमजी कमल भाई, मैच तो मस्त जा रहा है guys, और जो टीम लिक्विड भाई जो भी डोमिनेट कर रही है गाइस लॉबी ना भाई, वो नेक्स्ट लेवल है गाइस. टीम मिथ और टीम लिक्विड में गाइस बहुत तगड़े फाइट हो रहा है.
And we'll see if they can just kind of continue that momentum. They're going to have a pretty nice look at it, of course, starting from the
ठीक है दोनों. ओके ठीक है.
A little bit more central circle early.
Oh, Tigger, you've got some Petrichor Road friends hanging out. We've been talking a lot about 4 Angry Men, but Petrichor Road's been having a quietly consistent day. Now they're going to find themselves a bit of a split right next to Tigger over here, pretty close to the center of the circle. We still have 2 players for Petrichor Road making a rotate, while Example for Twisted looks like he's going to be trying to claim some territory. So Example might take a couple of pot shots. But with this big, wide split coming up from full sense, Tigger's pretty isolated, and I don't know if he has any idea that this is coming.
Yeah, something you felt a miss for him for sure. It feels like he at least had some kind of sound cues that people were close, and now he definitely knows. Yeah, now he definitely knows. But the way he was playing it so cautiously really led me to believe that something was amiss for sure. And he is just going to try to get on out of there. Maybe.
Let's see guys, इसमें क्या होता है guys? ये कौन सी टीम क्या डोमिनेट करती है? Let's see guys. मैं कहता हूँ, मैं दिल से चाहता हूँ guys कि जो ये टीम TL है guys, ये ज़्यादा बेटर खेले अच्छे से.
Yeah, there's also a couple of hillsides that you can retreat away from. The timing on it's pretty good. Gamma is going to be getting to a hillside cluster just to the east of this in a little. That river does cut in around that area where R8 as well as 4 Angry Men are. While Twisted is getting more and more separation and control towards the center of the circle, that does kind of put them on opposite sides of 4 Angry Men.
मैं आपको नहीं बोल रही थी, आवाज के बारे में बोल रहा था. तुमने जेंडर चेंज के लिए चली मिली, लड़की से तुम लड़का बन गई. छे मर्दानी औरत.
So Twisted, I mean, you got to give Twisted a ton of credit here.
Twisted Mind बताएगा, Twisted Mind अगर एक चिकन निकाल देगा इतना तो भाई ये बहुत ज्यादा गाइस एकदम टॉप पे चले जाएगा. फिर दिक्कत नहीं होगा इनको भाई, आराम से चलो निकाल लेंगे.
But you know, the 3 main players that are still here are very, very good, of course, as well. And these guys just continue to throw.
Let's see. और guys 4 AM और guys टीम बैटलिटी का फाइट होने वाला है. ओके नॉक दिया गाइस. अबे यार क्या कैम करके मारा गाइस इसने इसको. चलो गाइस किल कंफर्म हुआ. एक मिनट किल चोरी हुआ क्या? किल चोरी नहीं हुआ.
Gonna make it a little bit more complicated on the rotate because the rest of Vitality is going to be tail inning, just coming into the circle to the east of where 4 Angry Men are going to be at.
Yeah, this feels like 4 AM offering up a little bit of a different look to what maybe you had seen in the past from them on similar circles, because Vitality pretty confident to just send a player up on top of this roof.
इसको पता है इसको वो नहीं मिल रहा guys.
Actually leaves a bunch of players back.
अभी मिला guys, great.
For it. So that's feels like a move that could be just related to.
Guys सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो, सभी लोग फटाफट वोट करो guys कि क्या लगता है guys.
We do also have an emergency pickup that has.
ये EWC guys कौन जीतने वाला है guys? टीम इंडिया या फिर guys अदर कोई टीम? सभी लोग वोट करो, सभी लोग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो गाइस. आई होप गाइस को पकड़ ले गाइस. टीम विटालिटी भाई आपको निकालना है भाई, अपनों को लेना है गाइस बदला आपको. विटालिटी ओके.
Range, make it a little bit more complicated, but Winda should be fine as that emergency pickup is called. Teams that are not yet inside the circle, Nemesis is just now touching it, Supers is just crossed in, but Team Liquid as well as Tyloo down to the southwest, they still have a little
टीम
bit more.
पीरो का गाइस एक बंदा और टीम विटालिटी का गाइस एक बंदा गाइस मर चुका है लॉन्डो. इनके लिए गाइस सर्वाइव करना थोड़ा दिक्कत होगा गाइस.
Into this next circle, maybe try to time it with the phase 2 pop. It looks like full sense again that early rescue mission, keeping them out of the clutches of Petrichor Road. Tenadol is the dragon off and just doing a little bit of peeking around.
Team India नहीं है AWC में.
Rondo,
फिर Team India किसमें है फिर?
Some aerial threats that you're gonna have to maybe worry about.
फिर Team India किसमें है फिर? नहीं है तो भाई कोई हरा देंगे और क्या?
This should be okay. There should be enough hillsides. Super should be able to get away from it, but good job on Twisted to control this territory. Just to the southwest of where they're going to be playing at is going to be where Shadow is. But it looks like Supers don't have too many other options, so they're going to have to send it opposite side of where Petrichor Road is playing. If they can get through this stage of the gauntlet, there is at least going to be some open terrain before they get to full sense in that VP territory. But there's not going to be a lot to play over here. A couple of hills, I think there's a couple of shacks, and yeah, okay, a couple of rocks too.
अरे ग्राफिक्स किए हैं, क्वालिफाई किए हैं, सब कर लिए भाई, कर लिए, हो गया है. वेट बताता हूँ, दिखाता हूँ कुछ.
Let's see how they want to split this up, Supers.
हो गया, क्वालिफाई हो गया है.
They're trying to figure out exactly what they can, work with here in this
आज टीम इंडिया आज नहीं खेल रही है, कल है परसों खेलेगी टीम इंडिया. ये अभी ग्रुप A वर्सेस B हो रहा है और देन बताता हूँ कैसे आपको.
Yes, they can dig down, they can do some stuff, but I just get so nervous in this section of the map for mortars. Especially if you're playing this the way that Supers are playing it, there's going to be so many.
मैं देख रहा हूँ guys, मैं फिर से देखता हूँ.
As it is going to be anyone's legend, as well as GK kind of bumping into each other. Dylan's going to spell a con, gets flush on.
Yeah, they had taken a little bit of this high ground position earlier, so they're going to profit from that. GK thought maybe they could do a safe rotation there, but AGAL sets up a little bit of a trap, and Delwyn comes through with the big kill early. Second circle is going to go a little bit southeast, but it's going to cut out most of the river that goes from Jadena City over towards the left. So still a lot of different options in play.
Okay, GK looks like they're wrapping back over, but here you go. Supers, with so few places to play, just sends it right into the territory where Full Sense has got control. Shadow is going to be on the other side of this. There's just not enough space inside this circle as we move closer to Tooling. Means that we've got a lot of hillsides, way more cover, less barren circle. But that means that there's going to be a lot of teams just trying to force their way in. Tyloo on top of Team Liquid to the south. Anyone's Legend's going to have to be roaming right in behind GK. But it is just a full cluster up here to the north as Shadow is going to at least sneak by. But on the other side of this is going to be Twisted as well as R8 and just to the south of it, of course, Petrichor Road.
Yeah, things are getting really clustered. A lot of teams feel like they need to get in here in the Dantong, and it is, of course, one of the few areas that's safe. Like you were talking about, a lot of wide open stuff that's not so good. Example, will take down I2 6v6. And you're looking at them continuing to put pressure through here. Love to see them play with the confidence. That's a good grenade towards Ming Ming. Doesn't catch him though. Ming Ming able to get around the side of that box quick enough. Isn't going to find any more damage. Perfecto though has to be diligent, but he's getting shot in the back. 0-4 almost takes him down. But the molly, it's Ming Ming's gun who's going to get the job done.
He's just got to run in and flush this as fast as possible. He knows he is
Team Hawk नहीं है guys.
He's going to come up all around him.
नहीं है.
It is going to be example that gets
Team
the
India
knock
है नहीं
on
है.
Ming Ming. Twisted's going to come in, get a little bit more control over this territory. Petrichor Road looks like they want to go in for the res, but instantly rebuffed by a very aggressive.
मैंने किसी का पोस्ट देखा था ग्राफिक्स. ये बताओ कैसा किसका पोस्ट है, बताओ ये. ग्राफिक्स तो मैं सब कुछ भेज रहा हूँ.
Favorable for you overall. Some teams were ahead of you in the rotation game. 0-4 is laughing a bit there. He's like, that fence normally.
I feel that. It's every single time you think you're going fast enough just to break through the fence, it never feels fast enough.
I don't believe there is such a thing. I just don't try to hit him anymore. I just gave up. Is a lot of damage being done to him. And,
yeah, everybody's going to be trying to hit him now. He managed to hit the fence and manages to survive, so just narrowly.
It is by the skin of his teeth for sure. But he will get there, and well, it's a place. It's not a safe place in the long run. Maybe he gets unaccounted for. Maybe the teams that know he's there, in particular GAM, just kind of has to deal with other stuff, and he's left to survive for a while. But that car is going to make it very obvious.
My eyes are drawn back up to the north. You can see R8 that we kind of have eyes on looking at Twisted. But Twisted trying to get their reses back.
Guys, सभी लोग स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो guys. क्या करो guys? सभी लोग फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो. Come on.
And remember, this is the more open section of the
50 लाइक करना guys. Do it fast.
Twisted, luckily being distracted right now, should provide a little bit more maneuverability for both these squads. Circle Pops does go to the southwest. So Perfectic's going to come right back into a very clustered circle. Oh my God, just look at everybody stacked up on top of each other in the center.
Yeah, and it's going to remain that way for at least another couple circles, it looks
like. मुझे बताओ guys, कितने मैचेस होंगे टप्पू भाई? कितने मैचेस होंगे अभी टप्पू भाई?
About like 99%.
कितने मैचेस होंगे?
Look at our 4 AM boys. They found themselves a little bit of a prize. BRDM will be getting a really nice bit of extra protection. We saw this BRDM be really impactful for Team Liquid in the previous game, where Luke was able to use that to get into the fields and survive a lot longer than you normally would in a situation like that. So looking at 4AM, maybe try to replicate that.
कितने मैचेस हो गए गाइस? EWC बताओ गाइस फटाफट.
Team Liquid does have Alo right on the edge of the zone, so they're just going to go ahead and let Team Liquid rotate in front of them. There is a couple of hillsides to play over here that should get you some distance away from Tai Lu, but it feels not as good as you want it to. So a little bit longer of a wrap over here into the west could find you a compound, but it's going to be right on the edge of the zone. Anyone's Legend, though, could have to deal with Nemesis that is wrapping in from the east, as the slower approach coming up from Anyone's Legend could be punished.
Oh, you're right. It is kind of their game, though. They're willing to take some fights out in the open. Curious if anything will brew. Meanwhile, Vitality trying to thwart 4AM from pushing in this direction. And maybe 4AM, even with the safety of that BRDM, feels like, oh, we should try something a little bit different here. Your biggest concern, of course, when you're in that armored vehicle is that there's just a Panzer waiting for you.
Team R8 guys proper पूरा गाड़ी डैमेज कर रहा है गाइस R8.
As much as they can to weaken it as much as they can before the later stage is empty. Getting a lot of damage in there. He's protected by his own vehicle. Not sure how much.
कल स्ट्रीम होगी यस कल अपना गेम का स्ट्रीम होगा कल मॉर्निंग वाला टाइम पे कल मॉर्निंग में 8 बजे का स्ट्रीम चालू होगा 8 बजे से लेकर 4 बजे तक स्ट्रीम करेंगे फिर उसके बाद आधा घंटा खाना पीना खा के फिर दोबारा से 4:30 बजे तक स्ट्रीम पे आ जाऊंगा वापस से ठीक है
Still taking the shots on the backside of R8 does manage to connect.
भाई रैंक पास आप 20,000 बीपी में आप परचेस कर दोगे 20,000 बीपी में परचेस कर लोगे और वन टाइम में सिर्फ वन टाइम परचेस करो आपको परमानेंट हो जाएगा 20,000 बीपी में और स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो प्लीज ब्लॉग भाई प्लीज स्ट्रीम को लाइक कर दो और गाइस जहां पे आप चैट कर रहे हो जस्ट उसके बगल में गिफ्ट का एक्शन होगा गिफ्ट का आइकन होगा उस पे गिफ्ट से भाई गिफ्ट वाले पे क्लिक करो आपको कुछ डायमंड मिलेंगे पबजी की तरफ से फ्री में उस डायमंड से मुझे प्लीज गिफ्ट सेंड कर दो प्लीज ब्लॉग भाई हां 6 गेम्स हो गए चौथा गेम है गाइस आई थिंक फोर्थ गेम है गाइस
regroup and recover, maybe look for some new armor. Indeed, that is exactly.
चौथा मैच है गाइस अभी 2 मैच और रह गए गाइस लेट्स सी क्या होता है बस प्रे करना गाइस कल के दिन गाइस दोबारा से भाई मेरा लाइट ना कटे सॉरी वाईफाई ना जाए गाइस अदरवाइज मेरी वॉचिंग अच्छी जाती है गाइस आज पता है कितने का 20 के यस 20,000 बीपी का यस ओह लेट्स गो नाइस नेड R8 का फ्लंकी लग चुकी है गाइस R8 की बहुत ही प्यारा R8 का नाइस लेट्स गो बूम फिनिश चलो टीम VLT ने गाइस ट्विस्टेड माइंड अच्छा खासा लपेटा है गाइस टीम TL गाइस अभी भी जिंदा है गाइस सरवाइव कर रही पूरी 4 मैन है BP only BP
cycled through some of their players. I saw a lot still available.
Vitality had to surrender the position with Levante, so they're going to go back to their high ground where they have Quizzy at. Also, still have Hello My Bad providing some super.
Oh, nice.
Twisted on the manhunt right now.
Okay, R8 guys, who spotted it, guys?
Back behind him. They know that 4 Angry
Men. Oh, R8 spotted it.
Hello My Bad is going to be taking the shots.
Nice.
4 Angry Men in front of him on one side, but here comes the rest of Vitality as 4 Angry Men has nowhere to go.
Oh, पड़ा. Oh, कहाँ से पड़ रहा है इसको?
Hello My Bad down to his belly.
What's the escape valve here for Hello My Bad? Or is he just really stuck? Is there really no
guys, अभी ट्विस्टेड माइंड के गाइस 4 किल निकल चुका है मतलब 4 पॉइंट उनको मिल चुका है यदि ये बंदा भाई अगर चिकन निकालेंगे ना ट्विस्टेड माइंड तो गाइस बहुत ही मजा आने वाला है 5 किल निकल गया गाइस ट्विस्टेड माइंड का ओह 4 एंग्री मैन गाइस एलिमिनेट हो चुका है गाइस ओह नाइस
Not going to get much out of it, and this is going to make for a terrible position. That rock cropping right up in front of him. Twisted's going to wrap around the other side.
knock hoga, paka knock hoga, definitely knock hoga.
Setsuna in a ton of trouble. He's going to go down. That leaves just one up, and Twisted already knows where he is. Empty on the other side of it, though. Does at least manage to get a knock on it with 2 limbs.
Oh, R8 guys, skill चुराने की कोशिश कर रहा है guys. R8 ने guys skill चुरा लिया है.
The second layer comes up just a bit short. Handsy again making the move. The tab slides on into the smoke, seeing if maybe he could get a little lucky and find Handsy.
Twisted mind, okay.
Out inside of there looking for safety, but some of that terrain going to be affording him that.
Yes, कल शाम में भी स्ट्रीम होगा guys, और I hope कि उससे अच्छा भी स्ट्रीम होगा पता अच्छा क्वालिटी में करूँगा.
Eyes on that 9th one, spots it out. Tab's going to pick it up. That is a massive kill count already for Twisted, and they have to go into the circle yet again. Can they avoid the Dancheng firing lines is the real question. They either have to wrap into that.
हाँ फिर रैंक खेल सकते हो guys, फिर रैंक खेल सकते हो.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure how it'll all play out. So we have 0-4 who somehow managed to get out
Team
of that building.
Pyro
He was stuck
versus
in,
Team
where credit's due. That was not an easy spot to
NMSS
do, but he's
भाई उससे हो रहा
just
है
as much in trouble. It
NMSS
feels like it doesn't look like he's going to get caught by that Molotov. Fortunately for him, that'll afford him the opportunity to try to go for the first aid. Has the smoke for a little bit of cover as well. Stayed going to throw a smoke of his own, looking to just spam through and try to get a little bit lucky, but still has a bunch of frags in the bag.
This is
फटेगा Pyro फटेगा oh let's go Pyro को लपेट दिया guys nice
But now they're going to have to deal with Tyloo in front of them on one side.
रैंक के लिए पैसे नहीं लगते अभी अपडेट के बाद आप 20,000 बीपी में रैंक को परचेस कर सकते हो
Breathing a sigh of relief. They were terrified that they'd have to rotate away. But now here is the firing line coming up from Vitality as Twisted still has nowhere to go to get into the circle.
ट्विस्टेड गाइस अभी भी गाइस टॉप 1 पे है गाइस अभी टॉप पे चले गए ट्विस्टेड गाइस अभी के हिसाब से
Hello, my bad. Who was able to regroup with the rest
Twisted Mind अबे नॉक हो जाएगा नॉक हो जाएगा ओह नॉक हुआ गाइस Twisted Mind का ओह नहीं लगा अब फिनिश भी होगा फिनिश भी होगा फिनिश भी हो जाएगा फिनिश
but those follow-ups, oh, they almost got him.
I mean, Levante's just
ओह भाई कितना रेड आ रहा है गाइस
solo player that he was
एक और रेड आया अब फटेगा एफ फटाए और ये बच गया और गड्ढे चला गया नेड
ton of support, but it looks like Vitality's realized it's going to be hard to make this.
अब कहां से मैं यूपी से मिर्जापुर से बड़ी
This hill is going to be where VP has got full gatekeeping control on it all. Quizzy's going to lead his way
Oh,
in. Trying to
close.
knock on anybody in the smoke.
अरे उतार दिया उसको
But Levante does spot out example.
Well, they kind of revealed that there was nobody in the middle of these smokes, and so they're trying to now figure out if they can get anything else done. The tab's going to
Oh, मार अरे बहुत बड़ा ओह पीछे पड़ गया उसको पीछे पड़ गया गाइस
actually gets the knock, and Perfectix taking down Hello My Bad. Perfectix the only one left now for Twisted.
All right, so Perfectix, you get to run next to VP, who's fully stacked. You've got Super.
Team Twisted guys अभी भी एक बंदा सब 1 मैन सर्वाइविंग है गाइस और टीम लिक्विड पूरे 4 बंदे गाइस
Nemesis is eliminated. Anyone's Legend manages to find their way in.
गाइस लास्ट का फाइट बहुत ज्यादा इंटेंस होने वाला गाइस
Squad out, trying to figure out how they're going to get in.
ओह मोर्टार ओह गाइस
This is Tanvu.
नाइस मोर्टार नाइस
Gets the knock there, or the flush, excuse me, on the Hausker.
एक नॉक हो गया ये भी अरे बच गया गाइस
Off another one. Does he have any more available there?
Oh, look at this cross. We've got Anyone's Legend defending one side. Team Liquid with nowhere to go. VP doing a great job in the defensive territory. Mortar still raining down right on top of Tyloo, but Team Liquid, they don't have anywhere to go, so they send right.
ओके गाइस पुश हो गया गाइस टीम लिक्विड ने क्या स्लैमिंग दिया भाई ओह माय गॉड ओके नहीं आया
That was huge, and this is a good timing from Liquid, but Lee was unaccounted for on the outside. AGAL as well, looking at his VPs angling into this fight too.
Okay, Solozzi with one side, Delwyn on the other. VP putting themselves in the crossfire to go for the kills. Nades rolling down right on top of Team Liquid. Can they weather this?
Liquid guys क्या survive कर रही है guys?
They are doing just enough to stay alive.
Team Twisted guys eliminate हो चुकी है.
But VP's now turn their focus, looking into Anyone's Legend.
I mean, it's just a timing thing right now, and there's enough protection.
Last man standing guys, Team Liquid का guys.
Damage and grenades down.
एक नेट guys काम तमाम हो जाएगा यहाँ पे पूरा.
Look at what they've created for
Britas का.
with this little valley that they have on top of this hill.
Okay, हिमास पीछे बैक फॉल बैक ले रहा है guys. और हिमास फटाफट फॉल बैक ले रहा है.
Is backpedaling because he's realized he has stepped out into Virtus's pros firing line and he is in trouble.
Oh, close call the guys.
Everybody's gotten too entangled over here, but VP has more space to work with. The circle's popped and it's moved away, gone a little bit further over to the northeast. So Anyone's Legend can try to step away, but it's such a barren circle. There's nowhere to really go. Anyone's Legend
guys पूरा सर्कल बना guys, ओपन बना guys. जिसके पास जो टिप होगा वही अच्छा मैच निकाल पाएगा.
Some of their players in Danqing, but has Scappy all the way over in the due east.
And I'm also looking at the supers to try to make their way out from that very northern side. Gam
Team Gam guys दो नॉक है guys. क्या रिवाइवल हो पाएगा? Yes, I think so.
Maybe Rezing Tanvu Hong F keeping Baron.
Oh guys, एक बंदा रिवाइव हो रहा है.
Get the flush onto Duck Juice, so that's one player out of the equation for Gam. That blue zone, I don't know if that gets anybody. Luke 12 just got a double on the back.
Myth ने भी रिवाइव दे दिया guys.
Be so focused over here. We got Myth on one side, Geek on the other. Danqing has been abandoned by the circle, so that means
भाई कितना गड्ढा हो गया guys.
have to fight their way in. And we still have this long standoff down here to the south with those nades that you're talking about. VP trying to crawl their way forward, but Luke 12 has done enough to defend. Is Anyone's Legend going to try to pounce on this?
That's a great question, and I think this is a perfect opportunity. Luke here might have spelled the demise of Virtus Pro. Nixie looking to stick the revive. Looks like he will get it onto Correxy. They're safe for now. Clory's fighting tooth.
Oh, nice Gam ne no.
He did take down Tanadol.
Proper guys, 2v1 hai guys.
Himas has just abandoned that firefight. He's sending it into the circle. So there's going to be now somebody taking peppering shots, maybe on the other side of Myth. They've got to be careful. Scappy has gone down.
Oh, let. Oh, nice. Bacha guys, bacha.
Only Gam, who is fighting from the back foot, has some assistance from the circle itself, and Myth can't keep control over this angle. Gam's trying to fight their way in.
They're doing their best. They are holding on by a thread right
now. Oh, net, kya perfect net tha bhai.
Nails it. Clory's out of the equation. And now you're looking at Myth afforded an opportunity here to go for some revives.
Double res, full abandonment of control. They just need to get their players back up and ready to go. Full Sense has now made a push more over into the west, as it is going to be Supers right on top of DK, and Supers just can't find a way to get through this. Finally, at least gets one knock, but they have taken so many casualties on this push.
Yeah, they're not exactly sure where the players are, and they're trying to fish through the smokes to see what they can find, but right now, DK not offering up much. I mean, Park Pro even has a JS9 here ready to go. Oh, Heaven trying to run through. He's getting lit up as he tries to do so. Going to be forwarded back and stalled out. Rex, no opportunity for that.
C4 लगा दिया guys, तो C4 लगा दिया guys वहाँ पर.
Full Sense, other side of this, waiting to see if they can jump in.
Oh!
Around the outside, Rex does get spotted. Songjon pops off.
C4 लगा guys, घर पे C4 लगा है. Oh! Let's go.
But now it is just Songjon, the last one up, and Full Sense is on the full push.
Now what a play there from Songjon to use that C4. Won that fight for himself in what could have been a much more dangerous situation where maybe he goes down and it's Super still with the player up. Instead, Full Sense gonna try to see if they can claim his point, but Songjon, not an easy task. He's gonna go over to an AUG, it looks like, but Belmont has a Groza in this situation. Level 3 gear, that is so scary, even though Songjon has some level 3 gear of his own.
Oh, pada.
He's as soon as he goes out into that
heal guys. 1v2 का fight है. Let's see guys, कौन जीतता है इस fight को निकालता है.
Myth has gotten control over all angles.
Team GK versus team
Anyone's Legend,
Full Sense. Let's see.
They're all just trapped over there. Even Songjon across the circle entirely. No way that he can step out of it. It's just going to be the firing line set up from Myth, and everybody that's trying to get into the circle, hoping that maybe Gam gets a good angle onto Myth.
As for Songjon here, you're almost hoping that Virtus Pro is forced into a bad position, so they can't third party this fight, and you're at least given the fair 1v2. Going to use the smoke just to make sure that angle is cut off from his right-hand side. Waiting with the stuns. Throws one out, and Full Sense not really bothered by that. And Songjon looking to see if he's found the timing, and he's found a dip.
That is so well played. Realizes
guys, अभी still guys ये zone में नहीं है guys.
He's just going to send it right into the circle.
Oh,
that's going to put
fire
by everyone. Myth was taking shots. Anyone's Legend, even Lee looked like he was trying to get involved in that. And suddenly now, VP, where do you go with just beaming out next to the blue?
Team Myth, Team Gam, Team
An expert
AGAL. Guys, अगर टीम AGAL अगर guys चिकन निकाल देगा ना guys, उसको बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा फायदा होने वाला है फिर.
That's so good. He's got a blue zone to follow up here too. That's the last of the damaging utility, and it looks like that he had. But Hwang F still
1v2 fight guys.
Baron trying to get up there and thwart him, but he can't.
There's nowhere to go. Myth has drawn so much aggro from taking shots at everybody for so long. It is going to be Glory's up on top of this.
Oh!
Goes for the big round side. He does go
down. Hitage ने 1v2 कर दी नहीं. Myth Baron ने 1v2 कर दिया. Oh, Baron 1v2. Nice.
From the south.
A Myth, an opportunity to really assert their dominance on this.
Wow, wow, guys.
Basically guarantee themselves a spot into that finals. I'm pretty sure they're already almost there. Lee trying to hide here from AGAL.
Oh,
so sad. Delwyn
team
gets the eyes and gets the prize.
Tylo is eliminated, guys. Tylo. By Team Myth, Team AGDL, guys, or Team FS. देखो FS अगर जीतना था तो नामुमकिन सा लग रहा है, but Team AGL guys अगर मैच जीत गई तो भाई बहुत ही ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. Otherwise Myth जीतेगा तो भाई difference बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा फिर.
Gotta wonder if everybody else watching this game is hoping that AGL falters so they don't get further into the tournament, potentially try to keep them out of that grand finals if possible, but a tough team to keep down, no doubt about it, especially when you've got players like Himas, like Solalzi, big brains like Delwyn in the team doing work, and Mortar almost gets flash.
ओ मार दिया गाइस, चलो टीम फ्लैश गया गाइस, टीम फ्लैश गया। अब AGAL भाई और वर्सेस स्मिथ 4v3 का फाइट है गाइस। ओके नॉक हुआ गाइस AGAL का।
Myth at the top of the leaderboard right now at 44 points. They've got control over the northern section of the circle and did just get the
गाइस इनके पास एमो बहुत कम है गाइस, एमो की बहुत कमी है गाइस। स्मिथ के पास एमो बहुत कम है 5 की।
Temporarily made it a 3v3 and a headshot on to destroy forces him back behind the car.
एमो सी बहुत कमी है गाइस।
Can get a heal off. Oh, just a bit too far there with the mortars. So right now AGAL not going to be able to recover their captain.
At least the focus on trying to get down anything going with Delwyn. Get
3v3 का fight है guys.
Get closer, but as he's starting to try to just get into the circle, a couple of shots are coming his way. AGAL is pretty trapped over onto point. Myth has got that little bit of a lip coming into the road, and they just keep peeking right underneath of, I guess, what is it, the railings that are over there?
Yep.
That is such a brutal angle to try to hit. You have to be so exact, but we know AGAL can play that way.
For sure. This can come down to a situation where, you know, AGAL's players just hit some really nice shots, or maybe Myth kind of overextends a little bit. Right now, you're absolutely right. Myth definitely has a favorable position compared to their opponents, but as the circle begins to close in Phase 9, that can change the dynamic of a fight rather quickly. AGAL, still a couple vehicles there. Not sure if there's any more mortars left in any of the trunks or anything like that, but smoke's going to have to be deployed here by AGAL to try to survive this.
I mean, there's a bit of a lip that they can try to get to that's just on the other side of the road, but you can see that Myth has got so much control, just denying anything over there. It's just more to the northwest is the weakest angle of defense that Myth has got set up, so Sololzi's going to try to use that little bit of a ridge to creep forward a bit more, finding something. Looks like Himas going to hop in a vehicle, try to do the same thing. They're not going for a lot. They're just trying to get enough to get some angles on the other side of it. Looks like Kiss trying to go for a counter move on it. Does move across the road. Scabby trying to get nade range.
Oh, nade perfect guys, perfect nade guys, perfect nade guys.
Some damage, but doesn't get enough.
Oh,
that grenade. Oh, that was almost a really good one. You will at least destroy the vehicle of Myth there. So you're
boom.
If this grenade hits the car blocked it.
I've never seen that happen before. Myth was about to
be
in so much trouble. That was cooked so well. Anyone's legend just trying to creep forward, but Scappy on the defense has to keep an eye up. Sololzi's going to go down.
Oh my God.
Himas finds one.
Himas trying to get through here, throws a stun ahead. They didn't know he was coming from that angle. Kiss takes a couple down.
Oh, Team Myth.
Able to hang on, and Myth is going to take the
game.
Big game from Myth, so cleanly played.
Suraj Vlog, hello buddy, hello guys. Team Myth ने guys चिकन निकालिया guys, और ये जो difference है guys, स्कोर बोर्ड का वो बहुत ज्यादा गैप हो जाएगा guys. देखना guys आप लोग, बहुत गैप हो जाएगा.
PUBG international play, so much technical movement that's going on. Realizing the fact that some situations are just bad, and remember we had Twisted Dead for what?
सभी लोग guys फटाफट स्ट्रीम को लाइक करो guys, जल्दी. Come on, everyone do a like guys.
That is an absolutely nutty game from them.
A brilliant game. I mean, understanding that they still need to maintain that aggression, keep those points, you know, see if there's any way that they can get Lou back into the mix. If they're playing like this with that kind of confidence, just imagine what this team can do at full strength.
Oh, where do you even want to dive into it? I mean, AGAL coming alive down in that lower section, finding so much. This is why so many people have
like
big
no.
He's just such a great player, but
वो क्या knock दिया इससे भाई?
It's just so inconsistent, man. If he could find a way.
Nice. Team Myth ने क्या मारा guys, दोनों बंदों ने guys, बहुत ही प्यारा, अति सुंदर.
Yeah, I agree. Let's get a quick listen in there. Just a little nice. Yeah, I mean, Himas and Kiss, two of the best players we have in the world right now.
Yeah, and I mean, going back in the days whenever they were still under Forest and everything else like that, Kiss just, he can make some magic happen for himself. They know how to play, get into good positions to play around. And a squad that I was thinking that was going to be like a bit more dominant today was VP, who just can't seem to find a path into the circle due to defensive lines that are being set up.
So बाहर गए Chinese या Korean गए. क्या हाल है bro? हाल अच्छा है. अरे सूरज भाई आपसे एक रिक्वेस्ट है सूरज भाई. आप जहाँ से चैट कर रहे हो ना, जस्ट चैट के बगल में गिफ्ट का एक सेक्शन होगा. उस गिफ्ट पे क्लिक करो और आपको YouTube की तरफ से कुछ आपको डायमंड मिले होंगे. उस डायमंड पे आप लोगों को गिफ्ट सेंड कर दो प्लीज. जहाँ पे आप चैट कर रहे हो जस्ट उसके बगल में प्लीज सेंड कर दो. गाइस टीम मिथ जो है ना गाइस, ये वाले मैच में गाइस लगभग 19 पॉइंट निकाला गाइस. और गाइस आप लोग लिख के ले लो, बहुत ज्यादा डिफरेंस होगा गाइस. #1 और #2 में गाइस बहुत डिफरेंस होगा.
That's incredible, dude. That team just never ceases to amaze. Every time you come to an event and Twisted is there, you know they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. DK getting some points, Gam, Full Sense having some okay point accrue, ability to accrue points in there. Super still kind of weird.
Well, we've been talking a lot about what's going on with Twisted and everything else, so let's go ahead. I think that Barney's got himself Batulins down on the stage.
That's right, we are here on the main stage with Batulins here from Twisted Minds. An impressive day so far. I've got to say, let's quickly touch base on Toffees. Had a chat with you earlier today to discuss your kind of team alterations coming into today. Give us an update from your perspective.
Well, so we have been informed just before the tournament started that we have to play with the coach because our player is not here because of visa, and coach didn't play for like.
Guys, I think इससे कुछ players guys जो उसके यहाँ पे available नहीं क्योंकि उनका visa नहीं था guys.
He still managed to know how to play the game, right? Because
like
we actually play pretty well. I hope we're gonna do better and better like every game. But I'm really happy. I'm really happy. We didn't expect anything from today, and like we are kind of good. So yep.
You should be happy, man. Now, let's talk a little bit in a bit more detail about those games, right? You've had 2 top 5 finishes in the first 4 games. Talking about that 4th game, the one that you just played. Look, you're on the edge of zone. It's a really difficult scenario. You're not really going to be able to get into the center. So from your perspective, is it just, let's try and just farm as many kills until we go down? Because it kind of feels inevitable at this point, and you managed to get 12 kills.
Yeah, I would say that this game was a classic Twisted Minds from like FPP era. Like we literally like saw the circle. We knew we're not gonna get there anyhow. So we just decided to farm everyone, and we did very successfully. So I'm just very happy with what we have done.
No, it's been pretty impressive to see so far. Like you said, the expectations might have been slightly lowered because of your situation, but you guys are making the best of it. Finally, before I let you go, let's talk about your experience, your history as a team. I kind of looked into it. You and Lou and Perfectus have been playing with each other since 2019. What's the secret? What is the secret to maintaining this level of consistency over such a long period of time?
Well, you know, like, it just, like, people, hardworking people found each other, and we had the same goal for like the whole life. I mean, it already feels like a life, you know. Yeah, we just managed to work and work and work, and I guess some good results helped us to stay together. Yeah, and just the same mindset. We keep staying together, and we keep.
Hey guys, we need to go. Guys, मेरे को जाना पड़ेगा. ठीक है guys, don't मेरे को जाना पड़ेगा. ठीक है guys, मेरे को जाना पड़ेगा guys. मैं कल आता हूँ guys दोबारा से. ठीक है. Bye bye guys, take care. Love you all. मिलते हैं guys आप लोग से कल.